It's time for Twig. This week in Google, Mike Elgin fills in for Stacey Higginbotham. Aunt Pruitt's in the house. Jeff Jarvis in his house. Lots to talk about. What the heck is going on with Twitter? There are so many stories just from today. We'll talk about a few of them. Jeff Bezos gives Dolly Parton $100 million. Why? And we're going to the moon. Some beautiful shots from Artemis. All that and a whole lot more coming up next on Twig.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Twig, episode 690, recorded Wednesday, November 16th, 2022. Search for hardcore. This episode of This Week at Google is brought to you by Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. Are you wasting money on subscriptions? Cancel your unnecessary subscriptions right now at rocketmoney.com/twig. Seriously, it could save you hundreds per year. And by IT Pro TV. If you're looking to break into the world of IT, or if your IT team needs to level up, get the introduction you need with IT Pro TV. Check out an IT Pro TV business plan by visiting itpro.tv/twit today. And by OnLogic. OnLogic is helping innovators around the world solve their most complex technology challenges using OnLogic industrial computers, which are engineered for reliability, even in environments that would challenge or destroy traditional computer hardware. Learn more and find out about OnLogic's 30-day risk-free hardware trial by visiting onlogic.com/twit. It's time for Twig. This week in Google, the show where we cover the latest news from Google, the Facebook, the Twitterverse, and now with crypto. That's it, Pruitt. Hands-on photography in studio. Good to see you. Twit.tv/hop. He's also community manager at our Club Twit.
Yes, sir.
And
yes,
I saw
sir.
3 new events. I'm excited. We'll
Yes,
talk
sir.
about those a little later on.
Yes, sir.
Also joining us, the Leonard Tao Professor for Journalistic Innovation at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York, Mr. Jeff Jarvis, now on Mastodon.
I want to tell you what I've done for you, boss.
What?
You notice how now that it's nighttime here and I have my machine open,
Yes.
and I'm getting the glare, right?
Yes.
So what did I do just for you?
Not dark mode.
Dark mode.
I did it. Only for the hour or 5 that we're on the show.
This is like
Turn it off.
This is like an O. Henry novel, because you know what I did for you? Light
did you do?
mode.
Wow. Wow.
So this is straight out of O. Henry, man.
And I can confirm this is light mode on this panel here.
Yeah.
Everybody I mentioned this to when it comes to Mastodon says, "Oh my God, you're right. Oh my Lord." Well, you're not on the advanced view?
Yeah, he is.
I can go to the advanced view. But, I thought for Twitter users that the standard
Yeah, it
view
does
was
feel
more Twittery, right?
breathable. Yes,
Yeah.
it does. It does. I wish I could go back and forth easily.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it remembers it. It's account specific, not browser specific. So it remembers it.
Exactly. And Kevin Toffel instructed me to, when he wrote about this, to install the PWA, which I did, but it was really laggy. So on iOS,
I like Metatext. I've mentioned this before. I don't know if there's a great Android one. Tusky's probably the best for Mastodon.
Tusky's what I've been
mobile.
hearing about. I've not tried it yet, but that's the one I've been hearing about.
Yeah, for mobile, it's very good.
Hey,
Did we say hello to Ant yet?
You did, but we didn't say hello.
We started.
We didn't say hello to Mike Elgin, who's also with us.
I left somebody out.
Stacey has the week off again. I think I'm starting to take it personally. But hey, good news from Mexico City, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Elgin, who has been on Mastodon for some time.
Yes. And yeah, I've been on for a long time, and I've been using it a lot for a week and a half. So,
which, by the way, makes you an old timer.
Right.
That's right. Exactly. That's right.
Mike,
and
I got a question
by
for
the
you.
way, I think is Android only.
Yeah, that's the Android solution, Metatext for iOS. But you can use a PWA, but I think that the apps are a little bit better.
I just use the browser on my mobile device, and it's been totally fine.
So you could save that to your home screen as a PWA.
I could.
Yeah, but yeah, it's fine.
Mike, I got a question for you first.
Yeah.
What'd you have for lunch today?
So
I had
jealous.
let me see. It was a tostada. No, it was a taco with avocado, Oaxacan cheese, and spicy jalapeno peppers.
Damn.
I gotta tell
standard
you,
stuff.
he's like the worst person to follow on Instagram and on Be Real, and he's like the worst to follow.
I can't even
Jealous
look
of
at my
we
own
all
screen.
want to be Mike.
Do not recommend
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and then as soon as we're done here, I'm going to go to this really like cool place that's just opened and it's like amazing. So
Oh,
yeah, it's
shush.
just, Mexico City is quite a
It's an
food
amazing
city.
food city.
For people who don't know,
Amazing.
Mike lives in a Chipotle.
Yes.
He vacations in Taco Bell.
Actually, you shouldn't follow Mike Elgin. You only have 2 pictures on Instagram. Follow Gastronomad. Right?
Gastronomad.
Yeah.
That's the one.
I'm not really on on Instagram, but Gastronomad is there, and the Gastronomad Experience is the one. And
That's where you
and my
see all
wife,
the food.
Amir Elgin's on there too, so
Yeah.
she does a lot of stuff there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Oh,
yeah.
it's just ridiculous.
So you see that picture of the Opera House with the orange dome?
Yeah.
It was taken right out this window.
Oh,
From our
man,
apartment.
that's beautiful.
Oh, wow.
We have the greatest view here.
That's
It's unbelievable.
That's hard living there, Mr. Elgin. Hard
It's
living.
brutal.
I'm telling you,
brutal.
best Chipotle in the whole world. It's great.
They didn't even know what Chipotle is here.
No, they would just laugh at you. Say, Chipotle, we have this. Oh, my God. Actually, this is Italy, I think. Where is this? Maybe Morocco?
That is Silicon Valley. That's
Oh,
a
you're
picnic.
kidding me.
No. In Los Gatos.
He eats this
Los
well all the
Gatos.
time, kids.
It's ridiculous.
We had the most wonderful. This is actually from Oaxaca.
That's right.
I think
there
that's
you are.
my head.
That's your head.
We had the most wonderful visit. It's been a year. It was, Day of the Dead
wow.
last year.
Yeah.
So much fun. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Twitter. And actually, before we get to Twitter, I think it might be interesting to talk about the collapse of crypto. And there's so many angles on this.
But sir, you were so for the crypto world. I mean, you just said nothing but glowing things about.
Oh, he's
blockchain.
winking at me. Thank God. Because I don't want to be named in this lawsuit. FTX, which is the crypto exchange that has become insolvent, Samuel Bankman-Fried's crypto exchange, perhaps a little weird, but you might have seen ads for it. Larry David on the Super Bowl saying the wheel, no, you can eat a bagel, you can't eat the wheel, and then he's talking about how he hates forks and toilets, and finally they asked him about crypto. He says, no, and then the tagline is "Don't be Larry,
Right.
invest in crypto."
Strangest Super Bowl commercial ever.
Much like Matt Damon for Crypto.com saying, "Courage favors the bold." Which it doesn't, as it turns out, because if you'd bought Bitcoin after seeing that ad with Matt Damon at $60,000, you would be very scared now to see Bitcoin down to $16,000. So there is a class action suit against not only Larry David, but remember Tom Brady and his wife, ex-wife, Gisele Bundchen, did an ad also on football games.
Doesn't Larry David have a defense?
Yeah, Larry said he didn't like it, so that'll be interesting. Steph
I
Curry,
think that'd be fascinating.
other celebs, all of whom, endorsed FTX. Shaquille O'Neal. They've been named in a class action lawsuit accusing FTX and its, quote, brand ambassadors of deceptively encouraging customers to invest in the company. When Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies crashed, a lot of the exchanges started to suffer. First, kind of the outliers, Robinhood, FTX jumped in and gave Robinhood the money to keep going. Then BlockFi, FTX jumped in, gave them the money. But then all of a sudden, probably I'm thinking there's a little shenanigans going on with their competitor, which is Binance.
Binance, yeah.
Because Binance, I think maybe stuck the knife in and implied, I think, that maybe FTX wasn't solvent.
Because Binance said they were going to come and buy it.
And then they said we're going to buy it.
And then they said, well, we looked at the books and we don't want any of that on us.
Turn that knife.
Yeah.
So there was a run on FTX for $6 billion. FTX said, well, we don't have reserves to cover that. a normal bank has to have, I think, 2% or something like that for reserves in case of a run in the bank. There's no regulation of FTX. They're in the Bahamas anyway. So they basically declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy. There were some shenanigans because it turns out at the same time as he was running FTX, he also owned, and his girlfriend, his 28-year-old girlfriend, was running Alameda Research, which was a crypto trading firm, and FTX was giving its own crypto token FT to Alameda Research, which they had promised they wouldn't do. They were in effect taking your deposits and putting him in Alameda Research for Alameda Research to trade, and they were doing very risky trades.
Of course.
And the problem is that was with your money, not with Sam's. Anyway, he's got $0. Unclear what's going to happen to him. New York Times acted as if it wasn't his fault. They had a whole profile of SBF just a couple of days ago.
He's still doing PR. I put an interview with him up just a few minutes before the show.
Doing interviews. But what'll be interesting, Michael Lewis was in the process of writing a book, had gone to the Bahamas many times, interviewed him. He's going to have the best ending to any book ever when that book comes out. So,
as opposed to Walter Isaacson, who is writing the Musk book, and it's never going to end.
Yeah.
No,
that's an ongoing.
You just have a blog.
Ongoing
disaster.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but can we talk about the lawsuit? Because this is the dumbest lawsuit I've ever heard. What is Tom Brady supposed to do? Like launch an investigation before he does a commercial?
Right. I wanted to ask that
I
too,
don't endorse anything that I don't believe in.
But let's look at Ford, the Ford Pinto.
That's really rare. But if they're going to take money away from the people who are promoting these things, they should take that money and give it to you and me, Leo, because we've been telling people avoid crypto generally. So we should get the money. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll take my check from that lawsuit, but it's a frivolous lawsuit. I think
Golden State Warriors are named because they had FTX on the company's logo. You might have seen in the World Series the umpires had FTX on their uniforms. Again, very smart ad buy. Not the players, the umpires. The guys.
When you're making financial decisions, are you off the hook because an umpire had a sticker on his uniform? I mean, come on.
The defendants named in the suit, according to the suit, either controlled, promoted, assisted in, or actively participated in FTX's business. Now, there is some precedent. Jeff Jarvis has been doing some research.
There is. There's a few here, and fun video to go along with it.
Oh.
So Pat Boone in 1981 endorsed an acne cream saying it was going to get rid of your zits. And it didn't work so well, as no acne cream does. And so he was brought up by the FTC in the matter and eventually had to apologize and paid some reparations.
Oh.
Right? You want to pay a little bit of Pat Boone there just to give people, these kids here, a sense of who Pat Boone was?
Tell me again.
Pat Boone?
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong show. That would be why I can't find it. Thank you, Benito.
His life is so confusing.
What's the name of this
Down
show?
there about line 90.
Line 90. Okay.
Then we're going to get to an even better case.
I thought it was weird that all the stories are about Apple. So, okay. Pat Boone. Which one do you want me to play?
Line 90 is Pat Boone.
The apology?
No, that's just a story.
Here's for
the kids,
those of you
youngins can get a sense of
this is.
Don't you trust Pat Boone?
He was the clean gene of singers. He took African American music, black music, and laundered it, whitewashed it, so that the kids of America would not be
Elvis'd it, right?
Yeah, he Elvis'd it. That's a perfect way of putting it. In fact, he sang some.
Well, no, that's Elvis left it more black than he did. He made it completely Wonder Bread.
Did you ever seen his version of Tutti Frutti?
But later in his career, he went like heavy metal.
Say it ain't so, please.
Yeah, he did. He did a heavy metal album, didn't he? But he still sang. Yeah. I remember an SCTV fake Pat Boone commercial where they said, he makes you want to just stand up and stretch. Here you go. I'm sure we're going to get taken down for this, but Pat Boone doing the classic Little Richard Tutti Frutti.
Oh, no.
I wonder if he goes, woo!
This is legit? This is real?
It's a hit. It was a bigger. All right, you really want something terrible? It was a bigger hit than
my gosh.
Little Richard's version.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Little Richard was seen as freaky because he was a black man.
Yeah, black man dancing like crazy. So, is his apology?
So Pat Boone advertised that this acne medication had helped his 4 daughters and turned them blemish free.
Oh,
and then he admitted that this was wrong. He was chastened by the FTC and accepted personal responsibility and paid restitution. But that's not the best story.
Before I get a little side note.
But wait,
because
we'll send you a knife.
Because on the screensavers, one of our hosts was Pat Boone's granddaughter.
Really?
Did she have zits?
She did. She had beautiful skin. She was a redhead. Can't remember her name. What's her name? I'm trying to remember her name. But Grandpa Pat talked about him all the time. Anyway, so they held him liable, which is
the FTC did. Right. Now that's what's as I was looking before the show, because I do things like look at Twitter and Google and stuff for the good of the show. I'll have you know.
Sure.
And I think you're great.
Because I won't do it.
So Lloyd Bridges was also in trouble.
You mean Jeff Bridges'
We're going to explain who he is in a minute. He, and this is 1990.
Yeah.
He had advertised for companies that went bankrupt, having bilked investors out of millions of dollars.
Oh, that's bad.
The Diamond Mortgage Company. Not only did Bridges do this, but also, who was it here? Art Lickletter said that he would now be careful about doing endorsements.
This is back in 1990.
Wow. 1990. So we might want to ask, who's Lloyd Bridges? Well, I put up video for that too.
That's all right. We don't need to go that far down this.
Oh, come on.
I've already Googled it on my laptop.
It's a good laugh. You want to show this. You don't have to show the sound.
We'll show video from his classic show. You could play this.
Sea Hunt.
He was a Navy SEAL turned commercial diver. And the thing I loved about Lloyd Bridges on Sea Hunt is he was such a man because he always dived off the boat backwards, which I've learned, by the way, because I did it the first time I scuba dived. And they said, "What are you doing? Stop it! That's dangerous."
He said, "I'm sea hunting."
I saw Lloyd Bridges do it. I thought that was okay. Anyway, his sons became well-known Hollywood actors, Beau Bridges and Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, I recognize them now after I Googled them. I never knew their names, but now I recognize the faces.
So George Hamilton also made commercials for Diamond Mortgage and was sued by investors and reached an out-of-court settlement. And you know what George Hamilton's famous for, young men?
What's that?
Tanning.
His tan. He was the most.
He was darker than you.
I love how Mr. Benito cuts to me.
I think he literally was darker than Ant.
Wow. Look at that.
All right, now we got to look that up. Yeah, there he is. Yeah.
Oh, I remember him. Yeah.
I
remember. He was Zorro in that funny Zorro parody.
Oh man.
And then he did Love at First Bite. He was a vampire. Yeah. So he would make fun of himself.
Wow.
So to answer your question, Mike, yes, there's liability because you are endorsing something. And if you don't take duty of care here, you could be up Esses Creek.
But I don't understand this because I'm thinking about the old Ford Pinto and whomever decided to endorse that back in the days. Nobody knew that car was going to blow up back then. But I'm sure Ford had some sort of a spokesperson to try to help promote it and market it. But how are they going to know this is a bad car? What about with these Teslas?
I think in this case, it's a question of whether or not you're making an endorsement. If you said specifically, this car will never explode, the FTC is going to say, well, how did you know that? And on what basis did you promise that to people? And you shouldn't have, because you should know better. Now, if all you said was, I think it's a cute little car.
But isn't that what most of those commercials were saying?
Let me show you a little bit. I won't show you the whole thing.
Pat Boone said his daughters had clear skin. They looked like pepperoni pizzas.
This is the Tom Brady, Gisele Bündchen ad. I'm just going to play a little bit of the beginning.
Okay.
And you tell me if this is an endorsement of FTX. So they're not showing, they're just...
I'm in. Let's call everyone.
Hang on a minute.
So he's telling all of his friends
Okay, I'm in. Whatever.
Wow,
That was my
Fireman
mom.
Jim.
They're all getting in on
Because
crypto.
Tom Brady says so.
But he's not making
He
a
didn't say
claim.
crypto.
Well, you think it was kind of clever how they didn't,
They didn't
say what
crypto.
you're in on.
Yeah, they just said you're in.
I mean, it's
And they're not making any claims. They're not saying that
Right.
it's going to work or anything. You just say, sounds good. I'm going to do it.
wow, that's interesting. It's which to me sounds like Tom Brady, or more likely his people, said, Tom, whatever you do, don't say you're going to make money.
Right.
Right.
We actually, when we do ads for financial services, actually, there is a long list, and it doesn't come from us, it comes from the
Comes from
companies,
them.
of things you cannot say, including, I'm doing this, I tell you, I'm encouraging you to do it. All of that is verboten by the FTC, and these companies tell us, look, we want you to do an ad,
Right.
implicitly saying this company's a good company. Actually, it's frustrating to me because I'm not allowed to have an account with those companies as the ad guy. And even though my kids do have an account with these companies, I can't say that they do.
Right.
So
Didn't you just do that?
I didn't say what company.
No comments.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
It's not a current. In this case, it's not a current advertiser.
Well, I'm in. So
I'm in.
No, but there are very clear rules, especially with financial services,
Well done,
about what
Mike.
you can and can't do. And I would guess, I mean, based on just watching that. So this is the interesting. I came away with the memory of that ad of him saying, "Yeah, I'm going to buy some crypto at FTX." Very cleverly done. That he never
said that. So does this hold any water in court?
We'll see in court. I don't know.
And remember, it's a class action, not an FTC action.
Okay.
So the FTC still has to go to court, right? They can't just.
Oh no, the FTC can find. No, absolutely.
They can
not.
find him without
Hello, Elon Musk.
Okay.
The FTC can find you. The FTC. This is what it's actually a model, I think, for internet regulation. What the FTC says is, we don't care how you make your sparkling water. If you promise that sparkling water is gonna clear up your acne, then and it doesn't, then what we get you for is the false promise, not because we told you how to make sparkling water.
So here's a question for you, just to get really freaky and googly about it. Let's say, some celebrity loans their image to a synthetic media company that uses deepfake technology.
Oh, that's
to make it
interesting.
happen. And they're not involved in saying the thing, but it's their the fact that the public loves them and trusts them that causes everybody to go and buy this product, and it turns out to be a fraudulent or whatever. Are they liable in that case? And if they aren't, then what's the difference? I mean, they're just reading a script that was given to them on the one hand by the company, and they're just letting the company type the script into the synthetic media generator on the other. What's the difference?
Yikes.
Wow, I didn't think about that. Bruce Willis very famously did an ad, a deep fake ad for was it
Russian telecom.
a Russian telecom company, which he probably regrets at this point.
But he since has started to loan his likeness
Right.
for other things, movies and so on, because he's got a
He physically can't now.
he physically can.
Yeah.
But this is really the future. There's one person who's predicted that within like a few years, the vast majority, more than 90% of the media posted online would be synthetic media of one kind or another.
Well,
So
we've been doing that on Twit for years. Oh,
Yeah,
wait a
no,
minute. I
yeah,
forgot that I didn't tell anybody that.
No comment, sir.
you retired 5 years ago. Leo.
I am a
Leo's
figment
dead.
of Leo's nightmare.
Incredible simulation.
All right. So there you have it. That's the FTX story. I really think this is an interesting story, and it doesn't. So Crypto.com is still around. There's another company that's been doing
Coinbase
that's
still around.
Coinbase. Binance is still around. I wonder though how long they can continue. There's no evidence that they've been fraudulent in any way. But I wonder how long they can continue. Or is this going to turn people against crypto? Maybe, probably not.
I don't think so.
They just maybe be more careful about where they put the money.
I think
Yeah, you just don't put it in these kind of places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's still the normals out there in the world that are still holding on to the hopes of crypto being big and get rich quick kind of thing for them, regardless if they understand the technology behind blockchain or any of that. But I'm pretty sure people are still just sort of squirreling away for stuff like Shiba. Is it Shiba token? Is that the one?
Shiba Inu. It's a meme token.
Yeah, I'm sure people are still just squirreling away $10 there because they're like, well, who knows? I might get lucky 5 years from now, the same way those people that got into Bitcoin 5-6 years ago.
I wish the hell I found that password because that wallet was worth at one point almost $500,000. Now it's a lot less.
It's a lot less, but I'm sure it's still fine.
Yeah,
it's still
that's what is it? 16,000. I
it's
got
like 16
almost
grand.
8 coins. That's pretty good. That's $128,000.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I could buy me tickets to the F1 race next year.
Oh yeah, take it with you.
Or
your birthday,
or to a Taylor Swift concert. Did you see this?
If you can get a ticket.
Well, so that was the first story. Was that Ticketmaster had completely screwed her, or maybe they didn't expect so many.
Oh no!
Geez, they're Ticketmaster
people, but it melted down, and people trying to buy Taylor Swift tickets. Fans were outraged yesterday. Lawmakers said we should break up Live Nation and Ticketmaster. That's their subsidiary.
Yeah,
because they basically own all the ticketing. And when
that's been the case for how many decades now?
Yep,
it shouldn't have ever gone together.
But then I saw. If you wanted to see Taylor Swift in LA, I think it was, I saw tickets as much as $95,000 on the resale market.
Whew.
That's some spoiled kids got to see that show.
I don't know. Yeah, Daddy, what do you want for your birthday, daughter? I just want tickets to see Taylor Swift.
Or I won't love you.
Or I won't love you. This is on StubHub.
That's crazy.
Floor seats for the opening night in Glendale, Arizona, $17,000. Atlanta, $35,000. If you want to see her in LA, I think I saw on StubHub as much as $95,000.
And those are the resellers prices.
That's somebody who was lucky enough to get tickets before Ticketmaster melted down, which I guess
at those prices, I would expect her to do my birthday party. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
but the thing is,
that's $1 million.
The resellers are charging that because they could probably get it.
Well, they must think they're going to get it. Who knows though? They might not. Prices may go down as you get closer to the event.
Closer. Yeah, it'd be a different story.
If you want to see, if you wanted to see the Super Bowl last year, tickets averaged $10,000. So it's more expensive to see Taylor.
Did you ever take your daughter to a Taylor Swift concert?
My daughter?
I did.
Did you? Was it fun?
Yeah, actually it was.
Yeah.
It was. You're surrounded. It's like going to VidCon. You're just surrounded by a whole bunch of screaming little people.
Yeah. It's like going to a Beatles concert.
Back in the day.
Little people.
Screaming little people. Speaking of which, did you, are you going, Lisa bought tickets for everybody, I think, to go see, I don't even want to say the name of it. The midget wrestling at the Mystic.
Speaking of little people.
That's what they call it.
I knew nothing about this.
I feel like that's wrong.
That can't be right.
Micromania midget wrestling.
Oh my.
Yeah, no, I don't think we use the M word anymore.
I know we don't. No. Oh, maybe it's like the N word. It's okay if you're one.
Oh gosh, that's crazy.
No.
What are they, rappers? I mean,
oh no.
No, it's wrestling.
Oh gosh.
Using the M word. Oh, that's bad.
So bad. I never saw this in the news.
I think it's appalling that my wife is going. I said, I am not going to that, but apparently the whole sales department's going, which tells you something.
Jeez.
And then for my birthday, she's going to a girls' night out. I'll tell you, the Mystic Theater is, when it's changed a little bit since you lived here, Mike. It's
it's upgraded, or?
Well, it's changed.
Oh,
it's changed. All right, let me do an ad. When we come back, I can't figure out how to get this into the show. But did you love the New York Post's page 26 coverage of the 45th?
Well, and their page one play for it.
On page one it said, what? Below the fold it said, what?
Florida man
Florida makes
man.
announcement. Makes announcement. Page 26. You know what, though? You know that this is Rupert, right?
It's an effort.
But you know,
except Leo.
You know that
I
Rupert.
watched it last night on Fox.
Yeah.
And it was so boring and so awful.
Even Fox cut away.
And embarrassing.
Yeah.
No, well, Fox cut away, but they cut away to do what? To have Mike Huckabee there saying, it's the best speech he's ever given. This is brilliant. He will surely win.
Yes. He was looking for a cabinet post. Did you see the National Review's headline? Which the National Review's headline was no.
Nope. All right, there's no way I can get that into the show, so I won't. But you know,
all right, we won't even mention it.
We won't. We shouldn't even bring it up.
This is the magic of it.
Do it. We won't tell what page it's on. Nothing.
No.
I'll tell you what I should do, though, is tell you about our fine sponsor. How about that?
Ooh.
Our show today brought to you by, I was just talking about this with Paul Thurrott, Rocket Money. I, like many of you, have subscribed to many things over time, right? And I found an app a couple of years ago that I loved called Truebill. Put it on my phone. Well, just the other day, Truebill turned into Rocket Money. Turns out the Rocket folks bought Truebill. It's even better than ever. Look, I think 80% of you have subscriptions that you've just plumb forgotten about, right? Maybe it's an unused Amazon Prime account or a Hulu account, and you never watch Hulu, right? This app tracks all my expenses, which, by the way, helps me with budgeting and all sorts of things, but it also will say, hey, here's a recurring expenditure. Do you know that you're paying every month $50 for a subscription to Mad Magazine? What? I love this, and it saves me money because I click the button that says cancel the subscription, and I'm done. They canceled it for you. This is Rocket Money, formerly Truebill. Most Americans think they spend about $80 a month on subscriptions. They did a survey. They said, how much do you think you spend on subscriptions? Okay, now check. The actual total, closer to $200 or more. People are wasting, and you know this is true, wasting hundreds of dollars every month in subscriptions they've forgotten about, they don't remember, or maybe you're getting double billed. It'll find those too. It shows all your subscriptions in one place, and it'll cancel them for you. Just press the cancel button, and it does it. Rocket Money is awesome. It found subscriptions you don't know about. You didn't even know you were paying, or you've been double billed for. It'll find everything. All you have to do is press cancel. Rocket Money takes care of the rest. I found a political contribution I made in the last cycle in 2020. 2 years ago, I made a contribution, and there's a little box. They never tell you. There's a little box that says, make this a recurring one, and it was just pre-checked. I forgot, or I didn't know. And they'd been billing me ever since, and I just wasn't paying attention. Rocket Money found it. I canceled it. It saved me thousands of dollars. It is huge. I love Rocket Money. I love Truebill, and I like Rocket Money even more. They've added some great new features. It really is fantastic. Get rid of those useless subscriptions right now. Go to rocketmoney.com/twig. It seriously could save you hundreds of dollars a year. rocketmoney.com/twig. They've got iOS and they've got Android. You should do this, Ant. It's you probably already have. Cancel your unnet. It's just. In fact, I bet you half the people who I'm talking to are saying, "Oh yeah, Leo, I know about that." Cancel your unnecessary subscriptions right now. If you don't, this is a huge thing. Rocketmoney.com/twig. We thank them so much for supporting This Week in Google, and you support us. It's very important. You got to go to that address because otherwise you could. I know you're smart. You just go to iOS and download it, or Android and download it. Please don't. Just do me a favor. Go to the website, rocketmoney.com/twig, then click the link, then download it, okay? Just do that for us so that they know you saw it here. Rocket Money.
Teenagers, I should look into this.
You haven't done it?
I should look into this. I have teenagers.
I know you do.
Hey, Dad, can we order such and such a month? Yeah, I should probably look at that.
I don't know where I put my phone. I think I left it in the office. I would show you. I mean, it's just, there's dozens of subscriptions. It's all right, John. It's all right. The ad's open now.
I would feel so naked with my phone. I couldn't talk. It's like not wearing glasses.
That's not good, sir. Not good.
You are hooked. And I bet
better.
the number one app on your front page is Twitter, isn't it? So we haven't talked to you, Mike, since this all went down. And I know you were, you were famous for being a Google Plus fan.
Yes.
When Google Plus shut down.
Infamous is more accurate.
You were one of the first people to do a newsletter that I know about. You always been on top of this, and you used Twitter to publicize it. Twitter was a very effective go-to for you, right?
Yeah. Yes. And I've spent, I'm with Stephen King, who pointed out that he's invested massive numbers of hours, and probably Elon Musk owes him $1 million or something. He only owes me about $10,000. But yeah, invested countless hours on Twitter.
I mean, the greater fool us, right? Yeah. Because we even say it out loud. I am giving away all this content to a company that is monetizing it or attempting to.
Mm-hmm. Right. And of course, there has been a lot of value. The thing that I
water bottle?
have to say about it, though, basically, is that people keep referring to it as paid verification, which is not what it is. No. What Elon Musk is going to do is he's going to end verification, and then he's going to add a totally unrelated feature, which is basically paid prioritization. The main benefit of Twitter Blue at $8 a month is that you get priority. In fact, Elon Musk has even said that if you don't pay, it's like, everything you post will essentially go into the spam filter.
Shadow banned.
Exactly. So basically, it's paid prioritization that they're calling verification, and they're using the verification symbol, but there's no relationship at all between verification and the Twitter Blue so-called verification. They're unrelated completely. And this is the problem that people don't realize. There's going to be no benefit to verification. It's going to be part of the many things that Elon Musk is apparently going to do to destroy Twitter, drive people off, drive people to Mastodon and elsewhere. And it's just it's a real shame. And I personally am fed up with narcissistic people ruining everything for the rest of us. That's
the hysterical thing is everybody knows that. And except Elon, apparently. And immediately, as soon as he turned it on, everybody demonstrated the problem by impersonating Nintendo and flipping
public beta testing there in front of us.
And Eli Lilly costing him billions in stock value. I mean, it was a train wreck. They stopped it. Elon has now said, he's tweeted that November 29th, it's going to be turned on. He says, but I don't want to do it until it's rock solid. I don't know what he could do that would make it rock solid except eliminate the check, right? Here's a story from The Verge. Actually, it's Casey Newton's a platformer. I guess The Verge and the platformer are doing a deal because I ended up paying $100, Jeff. You'll be glad to know, for platformer, because this is the best Twitter coverage. Is all coming from Casey.
Absolutely the best. He's knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, he's the big winner out of all this. So he was warned. He was warned that this would fail. Days before the launch of the blue check, the company's trust and safety team, this is from Casey via The Verge, prepared a 7-page list of recommendations intended to help Musk avoid the most obvious and damaging consequences of his plans for Blue. The document was obtained by the platformer, predicts with eerie accuracy some of the events that follow. This is a quote. Wow. Motivated scammers and bad actors could be willing to pay to leverage increased amplification to achieve their ends where their upside exceeds the cost. Impersonation of world leaders, advertisers, brand partners, election officials, and other high-profile individuals.
Emergency authorities.
Check.
Initially, he was considering a $99 a year annual subscription, which, by the way, probably would have had the same effect, because I know somebody's willing to pay $8 to flip you off, but $99 maybe not.
Yeah.
Now I don't, and Casey says it was because of the discussion with Stephen King, who said, "I'm not paying $99."
No, I don't believe that.
I think Elon was always thinking $8.
Right. Exactly. There were already rumors it was going to be $8.
Right. So I don't know. I think if he re-releases it, it's going to have to be without verification of any kind, because obviously
he started saying $20 a month. Remember?
Yeah.
He said $20 a month, and Stephen King came in and said, "What?" And he said, "How about $8?"
Yeah.
But if we don't ever have verification, won't the brands start to get upset and
wait a minute, that ship has sailed.
They're gone.
That ship has totally sailed. I mean, Eli Lilly used to spend $10 million a year on Twitter. Are they ever going to spend penny one with Elon Musk's Twitter? Ever again? Of course not.
Yeah. Yeah, of course not. You know, if he really wants to save it, if he wants my advice, Elon, if you're listening, which are probably not, you're working.
No, but I could send your advice to Jason Calacanis, to his.
Okay, good. Yes. Our
the right hand of God.
Connective tissue to Elon Musk. No, the way to save this is you charge and you verify. So basically, you do the old verification process, but then charge people to do it, and you let anybody get verification if they can verify that that's really them. Right. So have a solid verification procedure, charge $8. I mean, many of us won't pay it. Many of us will, but at least don't cancel verification. That's the problem.
It's already
why
valueless now.
Why can't the current verification verified people be grandfathered in? They went through a procedure of proving who they are. What does it matter? Right.
You're next to Schmo.
Who bought his check
that they're God.
Well, he did try that. Remember, for 5 minutes.
Now.
I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about verification, actually verifying who I am. I'm sorry.
The main purpose of verification wasn't to say, okay, this person's really important. It's that this is the real person.
The real person.
And therefore, the other 25 Jeff Jarvises on Twitter are not the real Jeff Jarvises. Only this one is.
Right.
It's a real names thing, and that's something that everybody might want, and
it's a good thing.
Everybody could get. Yes, exactly.
This is one of the reasons we talked about this last week. I'm sorry I yelled at you, Jeff. Is your blood pressure back to normal?
You should.
You yelled at the real Jeff?
You didn't yell.
I yelled at Jeff.
You just spoke passionately.
People were talking about it. They were talking about it online.
The reason is,
whoa,
Mastodon has a self-verification that works quite well, and you can be the judge.
I want you to look at my profile, please.
Did you figure it out?
Well, with Jake's help, yeah. I was doing it wrong.
You further proved my point that I was trying to make last week.
You're right, Ant.
What was your point? That you get your kid to do it?
People are going to do this.
No, the fact that everybody doesn't necessarily have that skill set to go in and think about a rel tag.
So Jeff, he's on Mastodon.social. You put the rel tag, which is even Twitter. I mean, Mastodon tells you how to do it. They say use this as your link to Mastodon.
No, that's fine for Twitter, but again, everybody doesn't have access to their own domain.
You could do it, Jeff. You could still do it on your Twitter account too, by the way. You just make that link on Twitter.
But I can't do it with Medium, and I can't do it with my school.
Yeah, maybe not. But all you need is this one thing, Buzz Machine, which is verifiably you, to link back to your Mastodon, and people say, "Oh, this must be the real Jeff Jarvis," because a fake one couldn't do that.
Correct.
The other thing is, and if I can jump in, because I listened to that conversation, and you made a self-disparaging remark, Jeff, about Buzz Machine, saying, "Well, nobody knows what Buzz Machine is," and I first of all disagree with that. It's a fantastic blog, and everybody should read it. Fantastic. And the other thing is that if somebody goes to your Mastodon handle, sees that you're verified through Buzz Machine, then goes to Buzz Machine, any intelligent person can scan what's written there and see that you're really legit.
Well, but I can, as somebody who had a humorless imposter after me, they could also go to Buzz Machine with 3 Z's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure can.
And so it doesn't really mean much. So my point, we're going to get Leo going again. Oh God, he's going to come ballistic again.
He's going to be yelling at me too now.
He yelled at me. He was just mean. My point is that I'm not showing him now because he's hiding his head in shame. Right there, mate. What? You went ballistic.
Yes.
So the point is,
again.
The point. Let me make my point first before you go ballistic again. You probably need multiple means, right? If it's Nick Kristof of the New York Times, you want, and Nick has who just joined Mastodon, by the way. He's got to get the New York Times to verify him in that way. Well, the New York Times could have its own server and say, anybody who's on here is really New York Times.
They don't need to have their own
server. Another method.
You don't understand. All Nick has to do is get his New York Times to do the
I'm saying that sometimes you want multiple, like I'm trained as a journalist. You try to, you ask twice, you get 3 answers. You try to ask more than once. Multiple methods are not a bad thing. Well, by the way, the thing you were yelling about last week, which I'm funding now, by the way, I'm funding journa.host.
All right.
So I believe in it even more out of the school. Is that it wasn't just about verification. It's just like twit.social. It's providing a service for a community of people.
Yeah, I'm not against them being journa.host. I'm against their notion that they should be the arbiters of who's official.
Well, no, but here's the thing, Leo. they decided that for that community, you had to be a journalist to be in there.
That's fine.
So they're for their own purposes of their own community.
I don't have a problem with that.
They were verifying that people were journalists.
Yeah, but I don't want the impression that, well, if you're a journalist, you must be on journa.host, otherwise you're not.
It's because you could. So Matthew Ingram wrote a column about this academic guy and his host, who, because they let in one conservative journalist, journa.host, he just went ballistic, even worse than Leo, and said, I'm blocking the whole server. Because
yeah,
one
that's
person
a problem,
when
by
you
the
can
way.
block one person.
Yeah.
It's stupid. But no, there's multiple places we can do this. Part of the idea that I'm hoping we get to is places like Lion, which is an organization that serves small, local, hyper-local news sites, could start its own instances for their communities. Or INN, the group of nonprofit news sites
Absolutely.
could do it. It just becomes services for places, and you could be. I could see that you're on INN, and I know you're a journalist. I can see you're on journa.host. They went to the effort. I know you're a journalist. I can see you work for the Washington Post.
Oh, that's where I disagree.
can see you're a freelancer.
That's where I disagree. I don't think journa.host should be in the responsible for saying whether you're a journalist or not.
They're one signal, Leo. That's all they are, is a signal.
That's not what verification is. Verification isn't saying I'm a journalist. Verification is saying I'm Jeff Jarvis.
You're right.
Yes,
and
exactly.
that should be done by you. If you're a columnist for the New York Times, it would behoove the New York Times on the online version of your column to have a link so that you can hide that link. It doesn't have to be public.
Just try to get the New York Times. That's going to take 2 years.
They would absolutely do that because it verifies that you are who you say you are.
They haven't
and
yet. Not a single news organization has done it yet.
Well,
not a single one.
Then do your blog, or you could do it with your. By the way, you could do it with your Twitter account.
But it shouldn't be like healthcare in America, where it's linked
employer provider.
So we're in the early days of the new Mastodon, right? So there are going to be 100 solutions coming out, and you can easily imagine something that will cost less than $8 a month, where you go and you show them your passport and your driver's license, and they say yep, and then they have a reputation as a company that they're verifying people are who they say they are, and this would actually enable pseudonymity, right? So you prove to them that you really are who you are, and then you go online with the verification badge that they certify as being legitimate because they checked your IDs, and then you can have a fake name.
We don't need to belabor this because we did it for an hour.
Because he already yelled at me last week.
No, we did it for an hour. Our positions differ a little bit. I think the whole point of Mastodon is decentralization. So any centralization is a bad idea. But you know what? This is a little teeny weeny part of the whole thing that isn't all that important. So we can disagree on that. It's not that important.
I'll just say this. It's like there's a club called the Society of Professional Journalists. I think they're full of crap. I don't belong to them, but some choose to. Mm-hmm. And they have a membership policy as to who they let in this real club. And you can use that as a signal and say, look, I'm a journalist. I'm a freelancer, but I'm a journalist, or not. And you can judge that. Or say,
and Mensa claims to have certified your genius. But I don't think that's a really good way to do that.
Exactly. So these
I wouldn't stop them. I'm just saying the real advantage of what Mastodon offers is it isn't centralized, but it is a way to do that and verify yourself, I think, in a perfectly adequate way. But we don't need to talk about that. Let's continue to talk about.
Well, two exciting things here.
One
is that George Takei is on Mastodon.
Yes.
So let's all go follow George Takei. And then Eugene Rochko just put up a Toot. Just all he said was "exciting times!" ! Imagine how busy he is these days.
Who?
Yeah.
Eugene. However he says it.
You know, by the way, people talk a lot about him. It's an open source project with hundreds of contributors.
Absolutely.
So good for you, Evgeny, or whatever his name is. But if you look at the source code, more importantly, if you look at the documentation, it's clear this is a big team effort. No one person did this.
Absolutely.
And they've done a very good job. 4.0 just came out. They have changed the word toot to publish. I had a poll on my site about whether we should change it back to toot, and the Publish has it by about 4 votes. It was as close as
out of how many?
Senate.
10?
I am so disappointed in Twit.social community.
Can you get Scott Galloway off your screen? I can't take it.
So there are about 435 votes. Although one of the things, but half of them were for Toot. You like Toot or you don't?
I
like
Toot. I like Toot.
I like Toot.
What I like about it is that Rajko didn't. His English wasn't good enough. He didn't get the joke.
Right. That's pretty funny.
That,
yeah,
it is funny. Yeah.
So we have about 3,000 users right now on 3,000 active users on Mastodon, twit.social, which is, I think I've come to the conclusion that's exactly the right amount. Somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000 for an individual server. A lot of brands are Vivaldi just announced they're doing Vivaldi.social.
I wanted to ask y'all about brands, but because I saw this story with Nike jumping on the Web3 bandwagon the other day. What's stopping the likes of Nike and other brands from doing a Mastodon instance? And
that's, I think, a good idea. There's some. Some people are nervous about that. The beauty of Mastodon is you can block an instance. You don't have to follow them. If Nike says we have a big fan base and we want to engage with them, just as we're a brand. It's a brand.
Yep.
We engage with our fan base through a variety of means, forums, a Club Twit, and Mastodon.
That's pretty much why I joined Twit.social, is because of
that's who you want to be with.
Community folks.
And that's
I had a Mastodon account back in, I guess it was 2018 or so, which I never used, but I have since merged it into twit.social because of the whole community aspect, and I can limit it.
Now, Jeff, you're on Mastodon.social, which is one of the two, it's probably the biggest server, Mastodon Online and Mastodon
It's
Social.
the newbie server.
It's where everybody goes thinking that there's a central Mastodon.
Right.
And it's probably, the federated line is probably very fast. It scrolls by really quickly.
It is.
Because that's all people who...
So is the local.
And the local's fast, yeah.
But the big ones, the big Mastodon run ones are closed. Like they're maxed out. So,
and I'll tell you why. The minute a Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, or Elon Musk joins any server,
George Takei.
I wonder. I don't know where George is, but
George is on. Well, if you look at the top of your own service right now, he's on your federated feed.
Yeah,
he's Universe Don.
So they are probably getting hit pretty hard.
Yeah. Yep.
Because you remember in the old days of Twitter, who was it? Justin Bieber had his own server.
That's right.
Twitter is distributed like any big web service over many servers.
Got to have the proper load balance.
And they actually gave Bieber his own server. At the time, he was easily the biggest person ever on Twitter. So the problem with George Takei is there are a few George Takei bots out there. Right. So you said he's on Universo Don. There it is. Okay, so I'm already following.
I'm gonna hope that's really him. Yeah.
I hope he gets off Facebook. That's what I want him to do.
Well, and this would be a great opportunity for George or somebody who knows George to show him how you get rid of the link tree, George. and you want to use your links.
Well, you see, but even George needs help to prove.
I understand that. I think some of that is because we have Twitter brains and we expect somebody central to verify us. You know how many people complain that they could never get a blue check on Twitter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
lots, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Cause resentment.
I like a system where you verify yourself in a way that is pretty darn good, that works.
Right. Yep.
Can I ask you a question, Leo? Because this seemed to change with 4.0. Before, if I went to twit.social/explore, I would see who was on the server. I no longer see that. I now see what appears to be the local feed.
So that's up to the server. So if I go to...
I can't tell. Go to a server that's not yours. Go to journa.host.
Okay. Journa.host/explore.
Explore, right. That used to give me big boxes of who was on the server. Now, instead, everywhere I go, I get something like this.
Oh, maybe that is. Let me go to mine and just see, because maybe that is something, because I didn't change anything. It used to be kind of here are featured accounts.
Explore, typo. Oops.
Explore is not a word.
That's if you don't have acne anymore. You are explore.
Oh, yeah, because I'm logged in. It's giving me. It's not going to work for me.
That's what I'm saying. You have to go to a...
Well, maybe they did change that. The other thing they changed, which you might like, there's an edit button. You can edit your toots. Oh, I'm sorry.
There always has been.
Publish.
No.
Your publishing.
No, there hasn't. That's
you see, I think I got 4 before everybody else.
You might have.
Wait, stop there. What is that jerk doing on CNN? What's it about? I can't stand him.
He hates Galloway.
So this is hysterical because he doesn't like him. He wanted me to get it off, but now he's wanting me to play it, which I'm not going to do.
No, I just want to know what the hell he's talking about. I just, you know what? I just left the advisory board of a company because he was going to be on it. I said no.
Professor Scott.
Not coming here.
He's featured, by the way, in the We Crashed mockumentary about WeWork, interviewing Adam Neumann. It's pretty funny. They've got somebody who looks just like Scott Galloway doing it, which isn't that hard. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, just a couple of things. First of all, you just said, you referred to toots, right, as a noun. What do we call things that go through the publish? Like when you publish as a verb, is it a publish?
I'm going to still call them toots. You can call them posts.
They're still going to be
toots. It's weird. But the other thing I wanted to mention is I just wrote a Substack for content creators, especially writers. We writers and journalists have always had this fraught relationship with Twitter, which is that Twitter has always been such a infinity pool of content, of political bickering, and it's always distracting. When you're on Twitter and you're a writer, using Twitter feels like you're working, right? You're sort of looking things up, you're arguing over topics and so on.
Yep.
And it's always been kind of a problem for writers. And so I just wrote
but also a resource.
Yeah, I just wrote a piece about making the case that for most people, of course, if you're going to leave Twitter, Mastodon's the place to go. But for writers, you might want to also have a Substack, get into the Substack stuff, because they've recently announced a whole bunch of really cool stuff. So if you're not familiar with Substack, it's a writer platform for sending newsletters, but it's also a blogging platform. It's a podcast platform, very minimalist. It's a video platform where you can upload video or take video and publish that. It has an RSS reader of all things. So you can put in all your RSS feeds and just be in the Substack inbox and see all the RSS feeds go by along with the publications that you subscribe to on Substack. But they've also added some social things, which is really interesting. They've added chat. They've added mentions. So you can mention Substack writers. You can repost other writers' articles and then comment on them, essentially a quoted retweet, that sort of thing. Yes, exactly. But the case I'm making is that when you're writing, when you're working, when you're doing research and it's hard and you feel like you want to escape to the Twitter world where you can be thrilled with all kinds of information and argument and all that kind of stuff, Substack is actually a pretty good substitute if you use all these features while you're working. It brings you into your work. It brings you into your audience, because that's your basic following on Substack, is the people who subscribe to you. Those are your people there. It's not just random people. Mm-hmm. And so personally, I'm using Mastodon as a social network and Substack as a kind of like substitute social network while I'm working. And I think this is a great idea for writers. I don't know if anybody else, a couple of people have said that it's a great idea. They're doing it now, but it's just something to consider. Substack isn't a social network, but it's enough of a social network and enough of a news feed to sort of scratch that itch while you're working.
Mike, isn't Substack just another Twitter? Why don't you have a blog instead?
Well, I do have a blog as well.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Well, that's my complaint about Substack. You saw what happened. I started reading your post, and then it said, well, you can't read this. You got to buy it. And, I can read one, and then it'll make me buy it. I
didn't comp you in it. I'm going to comp all you.
No, but that's still my problem with it.
It's not the point,
paid,
right?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the idea of a blog that isn't a paid thing, but you have to make a living. So I'm not going to complain about that. You deserve every penny you get because your stuff's worth it.
Yep.
I make a living in other ways. So, and I hate to write.
Well, the thing is, we're in a moment right now where something like Substack is pretty welcome. And of course, you can monetize a blog entirely independently.
Not as well. Substack's much better at that. Yeah.
But like with Protocol going out of business, for example, I was writing freelance for Protocol. I was writing articles for Protocol, and now they're gone. So it's like,
let's talk about that. Actually, that's
but it's like nice to have Substack, the source of revenue where nobody can cancel it. You know what I mean? It's kind of nice.
Can I do one more thing about Mastodon before we leave it?
Yeah.
Well, it's not a democracy, Mike. It's not up to you. It's up to you.
Oh no, it's not up to me. It's up to Jeff. Please go right ahead.
So we also talked last week about Black Twitter, and there's been a fascinating discussion on Mastodon.
Well, Lovey's on Mastodon now, so follow Lovey, and that's how I got into Black Twitter.
So Jonathan Flowers, Dr. Jonathan Flowers, shengokai.zerk.us, had a fascinating thread this morning or yesterday morning about the affordance of the quote tweet and the importance of it. There's much argument about it, right? Because Eugene Eugen said, I don't want quote tweets because they're performative, they're not conversational, it leads to bad behavior. But the belief is, and I've talked to other experts in Black Twitter about this in the last week, that the quote tweet is critical for call and response as a cultural element of Black Twitter. And that without that affordance, it just doesn't work as well. So there's tons and tons of discussion about this then, about quote tweets. And then I saw, and it's on the rundown somewhere down there, where the great thing about being on Mastodon now is somebody put your money where your mouth is. And on line 74 at GitHub is somebody proposing a method for maybe a better quote tweet. And maybe the powers that be, and there are powers in an open source world, which is to say Rajko, will say, oh, this looks better, or maybe not. But that's where the discussion should occur. That's what's so beautiful about this, is you're not waiting for, say, will Elon fix this? Will Jack fix this? Now there's a way that you can make suggestions to the corpus, and that's what the beautiful part
or
about
even
this
do
is.
it yourself if you have the skills. That's the beauty of open source.
Right?
There are a lot of, Mastodon, I've said this before, I'll say it again because it's important, is just one of many entrance points to ActivityPub. That's what really is going on. That's the Fediverse. There's also a whole bunch of, we talked about Pixel Fed, which you've joined, which is an Instagram. Mm-hmm. There is a YouTube clone. There's other Mastodon, Twitter-like things like Pleroma. There's almost an infinitude. It's open. In fact, that's Truth Social is based on the Mastodon. Right. It doesn't federate because they know nobody would federate with it, but they basically used Mastodon and Cupcake to make their own thing. It's open source. That's what you just described is the beauty of open source in general.
Exactly.
Gargron,
I try to point out that it's going on right now.
Gargron is Eugene Rachko, the original author of Mastodon. Gargron, that's his handle, has said he doesn't like quote tweets because he thinks that that's part of the problem on Twitter. I've seen evidence that it isn't, in fact, used for harassment more than it's used for other things. And you're right, Jeff, there are some benefits, a call and response kind of thing. So I think that eventually something like the quote tweet will come to Mastodon, but Gargron's resisted it. And I don't disagree with him. We have the boost, which is just a retweet. Mm-hmm. And you could quote tweet as you used to do on Twitter by hand if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. So I kind of agree with him.
One argument is
make it too easy because.
Well, is it considered bad form to do it by hand?
No.
Oh, it's not.
You just made an extra effort. Clearly,
yeah. You could get a link to somebody's Toot.
Right.
Write a commentary.
I've done it a few times.
And paste the link in, and that would be completely appropriate. And I think that's a good thing.
That is appropriate. Okay.
And that's enough of a speed bump to prevent the real problem with quote.
I was afraid that was considered rude.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people coming to Mastodon are very worried about the
they get scolded.
The etiquette, because you will get scolded. But it's changing already. Content warnings, which really were de rigueur when Mastodon was a refuge for transgender people and other people who didn't feel safe on Twitter. So we have there were a lot of kind of standards to protect people, and those are, I noticed, completely starting to disappear. But that's what happens. Yeah. That's what happened to Twitter. It's kind of an amazing thing. These things change as people use them. So here's what I will just tell you real quickly that is very useful. Everybody should know. You can follow hashtags just like you'd follow a person. So if you...
They even made it better with 4.0.
It's even better. So if you search for, let's say you want to search for Black Mastodon, and you find that hashtag, you can, and this is the advanced web interface, but you could do it on any version of it. You can create a column on the advanced web interface that you pin. And now this is a column called Black Mastodon that has many of the people who will ultimately create Black Mastodon. And including, by the way, I think the one guy that I followed that started this all off for me was Black Aziz Anansi in exile. But Lovey's here now and some of the other stalwarts of Black Twitter. So I suspect
I'm hoping that
all of these subcultures. Look, I mean, Mastodon was created really as a refuge for subcultures, and I suspect that all of them will be well represented in the long run. And that's the beauty of having your own instance. The subculture called Twit listeners has its own instance, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I realized the other day I don't need to follow anybody on Twit Social because I just look at the local timeline and everybody's.
Yep.
So they're all hurt. You don't follow them then. Yeah.
I just unfollowed everybody. There is a negative to that, so I have to figure this out. If you follow them and if I follow you, Jeff, and you're on Twit Social, I will see your posts in the local timeline, but your boosts will not go into home because I'm not following you. So it does affect the boosts. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to.
Have you been to macaw.social?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's ex-Twitter
employees and current Twitter employees. They probably get fired for being there.
Well,
let's
talk about that. Right? No, this is this is really shameful, I think. Apparently, Twitter for a long time had a culture that it was okay in their Slack to say, "Hey, Jack, I don't like this," or "You're doing it wrong."
Right.
And apparently those rules haven't been changed explicitly, but they've absolutely been implicitly changed now.
Oh, no.
Elon foolishly, I think Elon likes to pretend he's a coder, like he did a Vim joke the other day.
Oh, boy.
He's not a coder. He likes to pretend. So he tweeted something like, "Oh, I see why Twitter's slow in overseas. We have more than 10,000 remote procedure calls, and it's slowing it down." To which one of his engineers, the guy working on this particular problem on Android, said, No, that's not the problem. All the remote procedure calls happen inside the network over fiber. You could have 20,000, you could have 1 million, it wouldn't matter. They're very fast.
Over fiber.
There's other issues that are causing the slowdown overseas. I know. I work on this at Twitter, to which Elon's response is, "You're fired."
You're fired. Yeah, jeez.
Yep.
That's going to be a problem in the long run.
Then he came up with his new requirement.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying about narcissists. Elon Musk has a personality trait similar to Trump, which is just, toxic narcissism. And one of the features of toxic narcissists who are very smart, as Elon Musk clearly is, and this answer is something that somebody was asking about in the Club Twit Discord a little while ago. Why he's so smart? Why would he be making all these dumb moves? And I think the reason is that people who are really good at really hard things and they're also narcissistic tend to believe that because they're good at really hard things, they're really good at all the hard things. And I've worked with a lot of. I've been an editor for decades, working with technical people who are brilliant developers, and because they know they're brilliant developers, they think, well, I'm also a brilliant writer. I'm also a brilliant speaker. I'm also a brilliant this, a brilliant that. And it's just something that goes along with a lot of competence in one area plus narcissism makes you think he literally thinks he knows better than the 10,000 people who've been working on these problems.
He won't listen to anybody.
For a decade.
There's a name for this. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. A cognitive bias in which people wrongly overestimate their knowledge or ability in a specific area. This is from Psychology Today. This tends to occur because a lack of self-awareness prevents them from accurately assessing their own skills. And you're kind of expanding on it by saying, well, because they're smart in other areas. But honestly,
Dunning-Kruger, Trump, they don't have to be.
Yeah, Dunning-Kruger is a very. So here's the tweet.
Dunning-Kruger is a little different. Dunning-Kruger would apply to somebody like George W. Bush, who just didn't know he was ignorant because he was ignorant. Right. Whereas this is a different kind of thing, and I think it's related to narcissistic personality disorder. But I'm not a psychologist, so don't.
I'm not convinced there's evidence that Elon is a genius in any other field either.
I'm not
to
either.
be honest with you, but
nope.
I'll stipulate that. Because it doesn't matter. We don't need to argue about it. He's clearly not a genius at Twitter. Here's the tweet. BDW says, Elon, I'd like to apologize for Twitter being super slow in many countries. App is doing more than 1,000 poorly batched RPCs just to render a timeline, to which Eric Fraunhofer, who's responsible for this on Android, said, I've spent 6 years working on Twitter for Android. I could say this is wrong. Now, here's a mistake Eric made. You don't tweet that.
Don't retweet it.
There's many a boss that would fire you for that, right? You know better than that.
Yeah. I will say this. I like the idea.
And say, yes, sir, I do.
Well, I wouldn't. No, you know what? I wouldn't. But
I will say this. I totally co-signed the idea or the premise that they had previously where they could say in their Slack channel, hey, Jack, no, I don't agree with this. This is probably a better route to go. That's great. The problem I have is, yes, going public with it.
He did it in public.
Like this. That's not cool.
No,
you should handle that stuff in the four walls.
2 points in his defense. Elon Musk shouldn't have gone public with what he said.
Good point.
I agree with that too, sir.
And there's no way that if we put that in the Twitter Slack channel that Elon Musk would have seen it. He's running 3 companies and he's spending all his time on Twitter. So how do you reach that?
He's never seen it, right?
He was crapping all over the engineers at Twitter. They have a right to defend themselves, I think.
There's evidence that he has fired 20 people overnight, a couple of nights ago, for stuff they posted privately in company Slack.
Privately on Slack.
So, yeah, he's an equal opportunity firer.
And now he is requiring something new for employment. You have that story, right?
OMG. I don't even know. Can you do this? Well, I don't even know if this is legal. Elon has, Twitter sent out, was it last night?
What?
They sent out an email to all employees.
Ant, I got a question for you first.
Sure.
Ant, tell me true. Are you hardcore Twit?
I am hardcore Twit, damn it.
There you go.
Well, good, because I'm going to send you an email saying,
with a form,
Twitter is shifting to an engineer-driven operation, one that will, quote, need to be extremely hardcore going forward. The Washington Post got this email. This will mean, quote, long hours at high intensity. Only exceptional performance will constitute a passing grade.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to make you work an 80-hour week with no extra compensation, and you better be exceptional or you're out of here. And then at the bottom it says, agree to this or take your severance.
Wow.
You have a checkbox that says commit to the new hardcore Twitter or leave the company with severance pay. That was this morning that went out.
Wow.
And if, by the way, if you're looking for more information,
there's just a better way of doing
Twitter
this.
And search for the word hardcore. Just pro tip.
No, don't do that. Don't, sir.
No, I got to do it now.
No, please
I got to do it now.
Mr. Benito, do not show his screen.
Yeah, don't show the screen.
Do not show the screen.
Something about, this is from Run DMG, something about a guy in his 50s using hardcore unironically in a business email. Feels like a crime.
Oh, boy.
There's a lot of porn fans who are very mad right now because they can't get to what they want.
Yeah. That seems to me like a very mean.
Oh, that's what he is. He's a mean SOB.
I get the premise of it. Again, I think he's just going about this the wrong way. I have no problem with leadership coming in and saying, hey, let's get it done, y'all. Come on. We're going to do this.
Right.
You know? But
that's a good coach would do that.
Right. But he's just going about it the wrong way. And a good coach might even
say to his team, I expect 110% out of you.
They all do that.
Or get off my team.
They all do.
Right.
So
I have to say,
is good. He's just going about it the wrong way.
If I'm a software engineer, presumably accomplished, been working at Twitter, let's say 8 or 9 years, really love the company because the people who worked at Twitter did apparently really love the company. This guy comes in, is telling me I got to work, I got to double my intensity, got to create exceptional code. Okay, I like that. I don't mind that. Or quit. And oh, by the way, here's 3 months severance if you quit. What are you going to do? I'm going to take the 3 months because you don't know if he's going to fire you tomorrow because you said something in the elevator.
Right.
I don't understand why
if you can afford to, unless you're an H-1B.
Okay, there's some people who have to. So who's going to stay?
Stuck.
People who will have to leave the country will get deported because they don't have a job.
Yep.
They're going to stay. Nice job, Elon.
People. Well, there's layoffs going on. We're all crazy.
Yep.
With
3 months
Meta
is a lot
and
of time.
Amazon now.
30,000 people getting laid off in a week.
Yeah, but Amazon laying off a bunch of people this week. But if you are a good coder, you can find another job in 3 months.
Somewhere.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I would think so. There's still people hiring.
Okay, but what if I was going to say if you're a PR person, but you fired all those people already?
Yeah, there literally is
There's other jobs there
in
too.
the communications department.
Yeah.
So I understand Elon saying it. You're right. It's like a coach. And I think that's probably what Elon was thinking.
Why is he telling it to us? This is the problem. He's basically
you're right,
showing the world that he's like pushing these guys around. It's one thing to be pushed around. It's another thing to have it be done publicly. It's just wrong. It's clearly wrong. We all can tell that it's wrong, and it's just another failure.
And he goes after U.S. senators too. That's his part of his pride. So I'm going to go after Ron Wyden, and he are now in a feud, and Elon loves it.
So here's I actually found on Twitter. Thank you, Mike, searching for hardcore. Here is, according to CNN, according to a CNN, and they're great.
He's got to put that hashtag in his
hashtag
hardcore
now. I love what's his last name? Donnie on CNN, the Irish guy who's their social guy. He's so great. I just love him. Donnie O'Sullivan. He's a great guy. Anyway, he says, here's the email. A fork in the road. Going forward to build a breakthrough Twitter 2.0 and succeed. This Elon sent this morning. And succeed in an increasingly competitive world, we will need to be extremely hardcore. Now, you tell me if a coach would say anything different from this, okay?
Okay.
This will mean working long hours at high intensity. Only exceptional performance will constitute a passing grade.
Sounds like every coach I've ever had.
Twitter will also be much more engineering driven. Design and product management will still be very important and report to me, but those writing great code will constitute the majority of our team and have the greatest sway. Coders got to love that, right?
Yeah.
At its heart, Twitter is a software and servers company. By the way, Mike Masnick said, you do not understand the business if you think that's true, Elon. So I think this makes sense. If you are sure that you want to be part of the new Twitter, please click yes in the link below. It's to a forms. You actually have to click yes. Anyone who's not done so by 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, Thursday, will receive 3 months of severance.
That's where it falls apart.
Whatever decision you make.
That's where it falls apart.
Thank you for your efforts to make Twitter successful, Elon.
Everything above that, I have no problem with. It's motivational speaking-ish.
That's good. Good point. Yeah. Mike Masnick says, if he thinks at its heart Twitter is a software and servers company, it doesn't matter how many engineers self-certify that they're hardcore, the whole thing is going to collapse. Twitter's not about servers and software and never has been. What is Twitter about, Mike? I wonder. We'll have to get him on and ask him.
I swear, every time I see Mr. Masnick's tweets, all I can visualize is him rolling his eyes.
He's a big eye roller. Big eye roller.
I love his feed.
Yeah.
I put up a headline of his today. He did a great headline today. I thought, what was it?
It's like he wakes up every day and he's like,
he's the editor-in-chief. We've had him on before, many times.
Tech Dirt.
Here's one.
TechDirt.com.
If you thought the FTC was going to F over Elon, just wait until he learns about the EU.
Did I tell you what Elon said in the lawsuit that he's facing over his Tesla compensation?
Oh, no.
Oh, this is another good one. Elon is better than Trump for news these days. He is our Donald Trump, isn't he?
Right now, he is.
Yeah, he is. Yes.
Right now.
Do we always need to have a villain that we can make fun of, Mike? Is that the
absolutely? I mean, well, we're living in an age of extreme narcissists. Look at Netflix. Look at what We Crashed, Becoming Anna, the Theranos series. Trump,
Fire
Musk,
Island,
and so on. Bezos. It's like these out of control, promise the moon, delusional narcissists are like, this is what characterizes our era. It seems like.
So Elon's being sued currently by shareholders. Yeah. To defend his $56 billion compensation pay package. That's a year. It's the largest ever to be paid out to an individual from a publicly traded company. He testified today. And inadvertently, this is from WeGotThisCovered.com, inadvertently let it slip how little he understands about Twitter and its dealings with the Federal Trade Commission. You will remember, of course, the FTC reached a consent decree with Twitter in May saying you have to do a report on every feature you add to Twitter about its security because your security has been so terrible. And we need to see that report, and you need to make it public so that everybody is assured that you have thought about security in every feature, including, I might add, blue checks going forward. And well, by the way, these programs have to be audited by a third party.
Thank you.
Okay.
And are responsible for it.
Yeah.
Even unto fine and jail.
In his testimony, when the attorney questioning Musk seemed unconvinced by that argument. Oh, well, okay. As reported by the Chancery Daily, Musk apparently told the court he was no longer bound to this FTC consent decree because, quote, an agreement made under duress is not valid. Tell that to everybody who ever did a plea bargain.
Wait a minute, what?
An agreement. So when the attorney questioning Musk seemed, quote, unconvinced by that argument, the billionaire asked whether he was trained as a lawyer, to which he responded, I have some familiarity with the legal system. If you were in enough lawsuits, you pick up a few
Elon,
things.
it's a yes, no question, sir.
It's the Dunning-Kruger effect. The consent decree was made under duress. An agreement made under duress is not valid as a foundation of law, says Elon Musk. Are you a lawyer, sir? Oh, yeah. Well, if you're in enough lawsuits, you pick up a few things along the way. But I did
sleep at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
So I hate to keep bringing up the N word, but narcissism is remember when Trump said that he declassified documents with his mind? Right. It's something about narcissists. They think their mental state affects the legal status of what they're doing.
So is that is there any legal? I wish we had a lawyer here. Maybe ask Denise Howell, who is also on twit.social. We should ask her, is an agreement made under duress not legal, not binding?
I'll let you ask her.
They're all made under duress.
I'll let you ask her that.
I think every single consent decree is under duress. That's the nature of a consent decree. When Microsoft agreed with the Department of Justice to have an ombudsman paying attention to how they were doing their job, they didn't do it because they wanted to. They were under duress.
It's only legally binding if you're getting a shiatsu massage or with soothing music and you're at peace with the universe. Then it's legal. Unbelievable.
I'm not a lawyer, sir, but I've been sued plenty of times. And I think you're wrong, Elon. Anyway, let's take a break. I'm telling you, he's going to be the gift that keeps on giving.
Clearly. Good grief.
We haven't even touched this. We haven't scratched the surface of this. This is just stuff that happened this morning. Like I said, I paid Casey Newton $100 because the platformers got it all. And you know what, Mike? I'm going to pay for your Substack because you're the best. You're the best, dude. The only problem I have is that I have to make up a new password and email for every platform or every Substack. I haven't figured out a way to do this because you can't just, like Medium, you pay $5 and you get Medium.
Yeah.
But Substack's everybody's individual. Right?
Yes, but is this... No, but your single username can get you multiple
all of them. I just pay for more. The problem is my username for Casey's newsletter is platformer@laporte.com.
Yes, you do that.
I blew it.
That sensible measure when you make sure people aren't using
selling my
I do that too.
Yeah.
Now I'm screwed.
That's the problem.
I didn't even mention that they fired 4,400 of their 5,500 contract employees last week.
Yeah.
That Elon said, I'm turning off 80% of all those microservices, including apparently SMS verification.
Right? Whoops.
We didn't need that.
Yeah.
I've been sued plenty of times. I don't need a lawyer.
Well, did you see that? I think it was Tech Dirt said that they're going to stop allowing embedded tweets in their articles because they just don't know what's going to happen.
They don't trust them.
Yeah, it was Mike Masnick said so. Yeah.
That's a very reasonable. I think that's a very reasonable thing. Ed Bott wrote a great article on what to do now if you're still on Twitter, and I will reiterate the two most important things. One of which is, over the years, many of us have turned on a lot of third-party services using login with Twitter or Storyline or Revoke. I went through all of my third-party services and I canceled them all.
Yep, thanks to you, I did too.
Only because if something goes wrong, that could be a passageway into something else, and I just don't want to give that access. The other thing he suggested, which might now be kind of hard to do, is turn on two-factor authentication.
I already had that covered, thank goodness.
Fortunately, I had turned it on, and one of the things you recently were able to do, like in the last few years, is you have to first have SMS authentication turned on, but then I used my YubiKey, and then I was able to uncheck SMS, because SMS is not secure anyway. So I have it with a YubiKey and with an authenticator app.
Yeah, I use Authy.
Well, please explain, as you did to me on Mastodon, the story that then came out that Musk had worked up two-factor.
Well, it seems to be that one of the 80% of microservices he turned off was the ability to send a text message to verify your two-factor. So if you only had SMS two-factor, text me a 6-digit code and I'll log in with that. That's no longer working, apparently. At least some have reported. I haven't tried it because I've never used it because it's
not reliable.
It's not secure. So, is that how you authenticate with Twitter?
I'm afraid to look. I'm afraid I'm gonna.
Oh, and another.
I don't remember. I'm not signing into Twitter because I'm afraid that I'm gonna start rolling down a hill. It's the last I'll ever see a Twitter.
You have a verified check, right? You can't change your name anymore.
Yeah, no.
Nor can I.
Right.
So if you're verified on Twitter, I think this is because of This is the Kathy Griffin solution. Because she changed her verified name to Elon Musk.
She's a trailblazer.
which got her banned. So if I go...
She changed her mother's Twitter handle to Elon Musk and kept going.
That's one solution. So I guess, I still have the check, which I guess I'll lose at some point because I'm not...
No, wait. Oh, is it only white because you're in dark mode?
Oh, really? Yours is not white?
It's not blue.
Or is that one of those...
official ones?
Yeah.
Are you official?
Who knows? It could be anything.
No, only the shadow knows. Let me go to settings.
Mine's white,
and yours is white too.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you change?
White,
is that display here?
Well, but if we're dark mode,
let's go into default. Oh, my eyes!
Oh, that's so much better.
Oh, my eyes!
Relief.
How can you do this?
What a relief!
Yeah, it's blue it's blue and it's white. So if I edit profile. And I say, no, I don't want to be Leo Laporte. I want to be, I want to be Leo Laporte as it used to be, Chief Twit. And I hit save. It says deny. That's nice. That's nice. Nice coding there, right? Let's try that again. It's a little blue pop-up off. It actually goes off.
It's not even in the right frame, right?
It's off.
You should hit.
It says deny. What the hell's that mean?
Elon Musk did that himself.
Yeah, I think he coded that.
That's the coder.
Code monkey. Code monkey. So I can't change my name, I guess. That's what deny means. Not denied. Should be denied, right?
Account information.
Yes, right.
Let's see.
Deny. I deny you.
What is my...
Deny you 3
Yes,
times.
I would like to deny it. Yes.
Deny it.
I never even attempted to change it.
I never met the woman. Deny. Lance, go ahead. Are you checked? Are you?
I'm checked, but I think I'm in the wrong screen. That's my username.
Edit profile.
Profile.
And then edit profile. See if you can change it because it just says Aunt Pruitt right now.
Mm-hmm.
Take off. Yeah, just Aunt. Be Aunt. Aunt. I love you, Aunt. Okay, now click save. Deny. Deny.
That's a new show title.
Don't log out because, somebody's saying Knox says two-factor was completely broken. Like you couldn't log back in if you
Wow.
So don't log out. We don't want to test it. Is there anybody in the chat room who wants to test it? or Club Twit? You don't want to go back to Twitter.
Crash test.
A crash test dummy? Just log out. Okay, Anthony's going to check. Anthony's going to do it. Log out, Anthony.
Log in at the house.
Anthony Nielsen.
Try that, but
it does take a few days to download your data, but I don't know. Jeff, have you downloaded your tweets?
Yes. Right before Elon actually took over. It took 2.5 days, but
it takes a while. And why?
Yeah, I was going to ask why.
I don't know. Wait, look at my office. Look at the piles.
Everything. It's more, it's another pile.
Crap all over, right? So I have more crap.
Hoarder.
Today on Hoarders.
So FTR says it worked this morning with the Authenticator app. So At least the Authenticator app does work, which is good. That's good news. Please, folks, don't log out of your Twitter account on my behalf. Our show today brought to you, by the way, love having you, Mike Elgin. It's great to see you in beautiful Mexico City. Oh, look, it's now so pretty. The sun's gone down.
Doesn't it look amazing? This is the Opera House right there.
So beautiful.
Where is it?
Oh, wow. Yeah, there it is.
You know who loves living there is Paul Thurrott. His second home is there.
Yeah, the great city. It's a great city.
His second home, and he tells me all his USB-C cables. he forgot, and he brought them all down. Now he doesn't have any at home. I said, it's always been the problem when you have several homes.
That dude is
knowing where.
Yes.
Where sometimes my stuff's at Bedminster, sometimes it's Mar-a-Lago. I don't know.
Does Paul speak Spanish?
Yeah, he's learning it. His wife's actually apparently learning it faster than he is, but yeah, he loves it. He loves the food, right?
Yes,
the food is amazing. Yeah,
it's incredible.
And we have
Mike, I got one question for you.
Yeah,
because I have a tender stomach.
Yes.
Walking by some of that street food in Mexico City, I'm dying for it, but I'm afraid I might die with it.
The street food that's popular with the locals is unlikely to make you sick, but almost all the street food is not high quality food. Of course, you love Taco Bell, so maybe that's not a problem for you.
He'll manage. He'll manage.
Hey, Taco Bell.
Say that here. But they cook the ever-loving hell out of everything for the street vendors.
There's no bacteria.
There's some high-quality street vendors, to be sure, and we love them. But the thing that's amazing about Mexico City is the super high-quality food that you get at some of the restaurants. And we got we have a ton of friends here who are chefs and that sort of thing who just are doing such amazing, innovative work that it's really kind of mind-blowing. Street food is so attractive, but it's really not.
It is.
Paul says they live a couple of blocks from the best sushi place ever. Sushi in Mexico City.
Mexico City is crazy for sushi.
It's awesome.
And there are probably hundreds of sushi restaurants in Mexico City, some of which are so fancy that I walked into one and I felt like a hobo, man, because it was like it was like Argentina. Everybody was like suits and ties and like really amazing. But yeah, Mexico City loves sushi.
Where used to be a lake.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
that's right. Where was it that we went when we were with the Gastronomad Adventures last year? It was in the big market, and we had the street tacos that were made famous. They were incredible.
Yeah, incredible. That's not street food. She's making really high quality food.
Oh my gosh!
And it's very they have running water for one thing. That's the problem with street vendors. They bring their own water with a bucket and kind of like wash things with, it's not a great scenario. That was actually, they had plumbing the whole bit, and that's really good. So what is it, Doña? What is her name?
Yeah, Doña
Vale.
Oh, Vale.
And,
oh my gosh,
she's legendary, and that is some really, really delicious food and high quality.
Oh, it was
really high quality.
It was.
So you notice we had blue tortillas. A lot of the street vendors in Mexico City and elsewhere in Mexico, they actually dye regular colored tortillas. That sort of thing. There's a lot of that kind of stuff going on because really what Mexico is very good at is very inexpensive food for everyday people.
Yeah.
And so part of the low cost comes with some low quality as well. So you got to be careful with street vendors in Mexico City. But again, there are some really high quality ones as well.
There's Doña Vale's hands making amazing tacos with Oaxacan cheese, which is the best cheese ever, Oaxacan queso. It was so good. She was featured in a Netflix TV show, so she was kind of famous.
That's awesome.
She's famous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Oaxaca is like Mexico's Mexico. It's like Mexicans go to Oaxaca to like really experience old school, authentic Mexican culture in general and Oaxacan culture in particular. And so the really, really great food vendors in Oaxaca are really famous throughout Mexico, at least, and some of them, around the world. So it's pretty amazing. So just to clarify something about Mexico City, in the top 10 restaurants, I forgot the ranker offhand, but in the top 10 restaurants in the world, 2 of them are in Mexico City. 0 of them in the United States. 0 of them are in France.
Isn't that interesting?
But 2 are in Mexico City, and both of those restaurants are using primarily Oaxacan ingredients. It's Oaxacan themed things, including Puyol, of course, which is considered the number 5 restaurant in the world.
Here's this is Doña Vale's. She cooks on this crazy thing. This is
comal,
yeah. Oh my goodness! And this is a YouTube video, YouTuber that they went to. This is where we went. It was so good. There it is.
Yep. Yep.
I need that.
And of course, we were with Chef Alex Reese, and like all his groupies were like,
oh yeah, yeah. So we were going to the market. And of course, Amira won't tell you anything about where you're going. We just get in the van. We show up. I say, okay, we're going to a market. And this guy comes up and says, hi, everybody. And he says, I'm Chef Alex, and we're going to go shopping, and then we're going to cook. And so we say, oh, this is great. And we follow him. Little did we know, everybody says, Chef Alex. Yeah. Chef. He's
the dadgum star.
He's a superstar. He's a legend.
Yep. Yep.
And then we went to his beautiful place out of town, and we took all the food that we'd made and cooked it, and it was the best experience ever. Anyway,
hard hits.
Yeah.
Picked your
own grasshoppers too.
Yeah, we picked our own grasshoppers, roasted them.
I remember those pictures. My hard hit in college. His girlfriend, her family is from Oaxaca.
Oh, the best food.
So I love when her parents like to cook and send me food.
Yeah.
It's quite great. Love it.
You can get Oaxacan cheese here, but I forgot where. But there's a Oaxacan market in town.
There is?
Yeah, I think it's on the boulevard. Anyway, I have to do an ad.
Oh, yeah. Pay the bills.
15 minutes ago.
Or he'll never eat again.
Or won't ever. No more Doña Vale. Our show today brought to you by good friends. Actually, we had a great trip, Lisa and I. Right before COVID, we went out to Gainesville, Florida to visit IT Pro TV. They had opened their brand new studio in Gainesville, and I was a little bit jealous because they started in 2013. They went to an NAB panel that I did. Adam Carolla was on the panel, a bunch of other video streaming podcasters, and it was Don Pizzette and Tim Broom, and they were already IT trainers in the classroom setting, and they said, "This is good. We should do this." We should do this training on the internet. And IT Pro TV was born. That was back in 2013. Fast forward like 6 years later, Lisa and I are at this. They have 7 studios. It's the most beautiful facility you've ever seen. They're using all 7 studios all day, Monday through Friday, because they're always creating new content. They have a dozen of the best IT professionals in the world. I mean, really talented people, working IT professionals, but they all share one thing, all these trainers. They all have a passion for what they do, and that makes them really good at teaching IT because that passion communicates. So if you're looking to get into IT, if you're already in IT and you want to get new skills, and maybe even more importantly, if you have a company with an IT team and you want them to keep up, and they need to keep your company safe, IT Pro TV is the place. They'll help you ensure your success. And the good thing about this, sometimes if you're a business owner and you get training for your staff and you wonder, are they going to use it? Are they going to like it? Let me tell you, 80% of users who start an IT Pro TV video finish the whole thing. They're that good. They're that engaging. Your team will be so thrilled when you say, okay, guys, we're getting you IT Pro TV. You're going to get these new skills. You're going to get recertify. You're going to learn about the stuff that we need to make our business thrive. They'll be thrilled. You'll be thrilled with the results. Partly because IT Pro TV is always up to date. They've got training for everything. Get all the training, all the certs for your team in one place. Every vendor, every skill, Microsoft, of course, IT training, Cisco training, Linux, Apple, security, cloud. More than 5,800 hours of on-demand training, plus the stuff they're doing live every day, ranging from technical skills to compliance to soft skills. The live stuff's nice because, like what we do here, you can be in the chat room, you can watch live. I should say this: IT Pro TV is a community. Almost 250,000 IT Pro TV students are in their forums, in their community, in their chat rooms, and so you're in a wonderful community of IT professionals and people learning about IT. You'll love the business plan because you can track your team's results. You get advanced reporting with very visual reports, so it's great for justifying the spend to your management. You'll be able to assign team members. You can manage all your seats. You can access monthly usage reports. You'll get all the metrics, logins, viewing time, tracks completed. You can even assign subsets of groups. You can assign them to just one class. By the way, all the lessons are about 20 to 30 minutes, easy to watch during a lunch break, at home. You can watch it on Apple TV, on Roku, on your computer, on your tablet. So it's very convenient. You'll know who's watched what. You can even, they have transcripts of every single episode. So you can say, okay, I want you to learn this thing, this one thing here. That's episode 6 in the course on Cisco. And then see if they watched it, and you'll know. I think IT Pro TV is the best way to learn. For an individual, for somebody already in IT, for somebody who wants to get into IT, and of course for your business. Give your team the IT development platform they need to level up their skills while enjoying the journey. itpro.tv/twit. Go there today. itpro.tv/twit. We thank them so much for the support of this week in Google. And by the way, you support us if you go to that address. That's important. It's not Twig, it's Twit. itpro.tv/twit. Okay, but they'll know. They know that you saw it on This Week in Google. Thank you, IT Pro TV. All right, we've done enough Elon, yes, or should we do more? It's so juicy.
Before we do one more thing, let me show you something, Leo. A little Mexico City thing.
Can you show up?
Can you hear that?
What?
I don't know if you pick it up. It's an endless party here. Is the point.
They're partying out the window.
Oh, 24/7.
Your microphone, unfortunately, is too good.
Yeah,
we can't.
Yeah,
Mike's doing a good job.
There are something like every block. There's an amazing live band that play hour after hour. It's mostly like 60s and 70s American rock in English. They're Mexican bands. Right. Or it's American jazz, which tend to be super brilliant.
Do you get any sleep?
I use white noise machines and all kinds of stuff, but they're going till like 2-3 in the morning. It's just unbelievable.
I have a slightly off-topic question for you, Mr. Elgin. Are you standing right now for the show?
No, I'm sitting.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to stand for this.
I saw you. I believe I saw you stand one episode, and I tried it a handful of episodes back.
It's exhausting. Our shows
and it damn near
long.
Killed me when I did it. I was like, oh my gosh, how did Mr. Elgin do this?
I've done it.
Killed me. I did it once, and that's probably the last time I'll do that.
A couple of quick ones. We mentioned Protocol.
Yeah.
Very sad story. Protocol, which I thought was really cool, and we know, Megan Maroney went to work for them. Yeah. Owen Thomas worked for them. They were spun off from Politico, but I didn't realize Politico still owned them, right, Jeff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then that in turn was sold to Axel Springer, old friend of mine. Goli Shekel Islami is the CEO, and she did the deed.
So could they just not get advertising? What happened? Because I thought it was great. I was always worried about it.
Well, here's my other worry, Leo, is that I think that they said, oh, tech, oh yeah, it's kind of going away, because we see that happen, right? The New York Times had a tech section, and these media companies that aren't in the business like you think that it's more cyclical than it is.
Oh, so this is a response to the tech downturn.
I think a little bit. I think it's an excuse. Like I think Springer wanted it. They wanted Politico for the political stuff, and I think the tech stuff was just kind of. Plus, don't forget Springer runs campaigns in legislatures against Silicon Valley.
Right. Well, that might have concerned me, except I knew the people working there, and I knew that they would never stand for any influence peddling. So these guys
I just mean that to be the same company that hates Silicon Valley while you're trying to cover and get money from it, it just didn't kind of fit with their ethos.
That is a little scary. So they're thinking that the tech downturn is permanent.
I don't know. That's one speculation.
Interesting.
Or no, not even permanent. It's just like, oh, we got too much going on, too much risk right now.
I understand they didn't monetize. They had very few ads, and they did a lot of newsletters which were free. I really wasn't sure how they were going to make money.
And they were well capitalized, and I can say as a freelancer they paid well. Okay. And they had a lot of employees and so on, and so I think they were hoping, when you go into launch a new publication, you figure you're going to lose money for 5 years, and then eventually you're going to make some money, something like that. That's what they used to say. But I think advertising is probably drying up out of fears of recession and that sort of thing. So, they probably figured, okay, this is just not worth it.
I feel bad for Janko Redkers, who was at GigaOM, good friend of Stacy's. He then left GigaOM, wrote for Variety for quite a while. First technology reporter for Variety, and then moved over to Protocol a few months ago, and now he's out of work too.
Yeah.
So many good people. So many good people. He's a really good reporter. I hope there's a place for all these people, and I hope it's not Mastodon.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Or PR companies.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that what happens? They go to the dark side. Yeah. You're smart as a freelancer, Mike. If one of your people goes under, you still have Computer World. You have still other people.
I try, but it's an endless game of whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
But he still has to replace that extra slot, right?
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yep.
Layoffs at Amazon, 10,000 layoffs coming. They announced this week. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos pledges his fortune to charity. I thought he'd already signed up on the whatever they called that Bill Gates pledge that they were doing, but he's in fact, you know, I saw that the number 2 philanthropist in the country, in the world, I believe, is his ex.
Yep.
Mackenzie
She's doing
Scott.
amazing work. Amazing work.
So good for her.
Yeah.
She just gave $2 billion, another $2 billion in donations. So between her and Jeff, they've split his fortune, but obviously it was so huge, there was plenty to give away. She's given away $14.4 billion since her divorce in the last 3 years. And her most recent donation is $1.9 billion, 300 organizations. That's in the last 7 months.
That's impressive.
Oh, Jeff Bezos did not sign the giving pledge.
No, he just made a claim to the media.
He just said, I'm going to give most of it away.
Yeah. He did give $100 million to Dolly Parton. God bless him.
She can do whatever she wants with.
Some people were
she can give it away to whoever she wants with.
That'll really put a dent in his lifestyle, I'm sure.
Some people were critical of that. Actually, Dolly has given more than $170 million in free books to poor communities and libraries and so forth. So that's awesome. Jose Andres, a previous winner of the $100 million grant. Van Jones of CNN. So I think that's fine. I don't have. Remember, Dolly gave $1 million to fund the Moderna vaccine.
Yes.
God bless her.
She's amazing.
That is really great. And her Imagination Library book gifting program has given away so many books, more than $1 million worth of books. So I'm sure that's where a lot of this money will go.
I met her backstage at the Oakland Coliseum many years ago when she was performing with Linda Ronstadt.
Oh, how cool.
And, you think backstage, you're going to see somebody just be a little grumpier. She's just amazing. She is who she is all the time. Phenomenal human being.
Really great.
Say hello, Dolly. Did you say that?
Rim shot.
She would never have heard that before.
Rim shot.
Yeah. No.
Pre-show, when I was going through the rundown, I came across this story, and I was sitting in the host office with Mr. Howell, and I told him straight up, I was like, man, I'm just jaded because this story does absolutely nothing for me. It would probably, I would feel better or actually feel anything if that had been Mr. Jammer B saying, I'm going to donate X amount of money.
Well, that would be more impressive if Jammer B ever gives $100 million to anybody. That would,
I mean, it just, I don't know.
It's Bezos. It's like his cigarette money, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's not. It just seems like a PR move.
Yeah, of course it is.
But if you said it, Miss Laporte or Jammer B, it just.
Here's the thing, and I believe this: we don't publicize our charitable giving. Because
that's fine.
But I agree with you. I think if you put out a press release, it's a little, it's a little self-serving. We don't tell people what we do.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know y'all's heart's good, but
we're buying tickets to SpongeBob SquarePants the musical.
Woo!
That's charity. Woo! Queen Pruitt is playing
Sandy Dadgum cheeks.
When is the opening night?
Friday.
Whoa,
November 18th is opening night. And
have you memorized her songs too?
Oh man, I can't get these songs out of the songs, the lines. I'm like, I haven't been reading the script. Why do I know all of this stuff?
You were so funny. I don't remember. I think it was on the call yesterday, our editorial call.
Yeah, we was in our meeting, and I'm trying to go through my points in the meeting, and then all of a sudden I hear.
You said they're rehearsing.
Yep, they're rehearsing again. And then what happens now is the dogs chime in.
No.
Biscuit starts to sing. It's oh boy. Everybody is learning all of these lines in this dadgum music. Ooh, I
just love that the man who hates musicals more than anything.
Oh, I know you do. I know you love this.
I love this. I just love this. So I would fly out to go see it just for the joy of watching it. But you're proud of the Queen.
I'll take pictures. I
am quite proud. I am quite proud.
I know.
Boy,
Did she have her costume? Have you seen her costume?
I've seen the costumes. They are quite nice. That whole set it's going to be quite nice.
We've seen shows there before. They do a good job. Yeah. They really do a good job.
It's quite nice.
Weird talking about transitions. Evernote.
Oh man.
Evernote, which I loved when it first came out. Phil Libin, who was was the CEO and really responsible, I think, for putting Evernote in the map. He many years ago, there's a great article about the history of Evernote on nira.com. They talk about Stepan Pachakov, who wrote it, a Russian who had, was training computer science in the Soviet Union and felt like there was a memory hole in communist Russia and wanted to write a program once he got out that would help him remember stuff. So he wrote the first version of Evernote, met Phil Libin, who was also a refugee from the Soviet Union, spoke Russian. And Phil had been working on something similar called the Ribbon. They combined forces, and Evernote, as we know it, was born. And I remember first using it. Microsoft had just come out with OneNote, and it had this ribbon idea that it was just a continuous ribbon of notes, and I loved it. And I was a major fan of Evernote for many, many years.
I still used a free version.
After Phil left. And by the way, I've asked Jason because Phil likes to be on Twit. He's been on Twit many times. He said, in fact, last time I talked to him, he said, get me on Twit again. So we'll get Phil on to talk about this. But after he left, Evernote went through some tough times. They cut off the free one. They went to a subscription model. I think nobody wanted to buy it. It was, I think, really struggling. Mike, were you an Evernote user?
I was, and Ray Gunn in the chat room just said that Phil is confirmed for Sunday. I don't know if that's true.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Ray Gunn is Jason Howell. That's our producer. So good. He'll be on Sunday on Twit.
I've written a lot about.
Well, I don't know. Is he verified?
I don't know.
I personally verify him.
He is actually. That's not your job to do.
No, he is actually verified. Scooter X has verified him.
Yes,
but I have used Evernote and I've used a bunch of different services trying to do life logging because I've always believed that's a compelling idea. And the Evernote was kind of an odd thing. Everything about it was theoretically perfect. Like I loved that they had this paper notes and it was integrated with this stuff and you put anything in there. I just never really liked it very much. And I don't really know why. Something about the interface. I don't know what it was, but I did use it for a few years.
Oh, I was fanatic. In fact, I had my whole life. Everything was in Evernote.
I still use it every week, and I'm looking back now. I still have some old notes from previous employers, like some couple scripts that I used to have to run.
Dusty archive
scaring me with a little.
They had raised $100 million in venture capital. But honestly, I think that they were kind of mismanaged in the last 5 years anyway. The reason we're talking about Evernote, it has been sold to a company called Bending Spoons. This can't be good.
Yeah.
Bending Spoons is they make apps that I'm not sure first of all, their website is really slow, so it's pretty. Apps that I'm not sure I'm familiar with. Maybe you are. Splice.
How does it sound familiar?
Video editor for iOS and Android.
The thing is, it's not the spoon that bends, but you.
Yeah. Automatic captions. They just have a lot of I mean, obviously the design is very good. Speed effects, but it's all video. Nothing like Evernote. So I'm just thinking this is a fire sale, probably.
Yeah.
You know?
Phil Libin do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a. That's the name of his company.
I last used it seriously in 2018.
Yeah, that's about right for me. Yeah.
Or really 2015, actually. That was just a few.
Yeah, I moved
Can I export this stuff, or is it like?
Yeah, totally. In fact, I have exported it.
I guess I
it
should
many
export.
different places.
Tell us, how do you do that?
There's an export command, and then I moved it. What did I move it to? I've moved it. I've tried every note-taking app in the world.
Just move it to Drive.
Joplin was one of them, an open source note taker. I think I might have moved it to Joplin. I think there was a program that read Evernote files, so I think it was a very easy transition to something. And then I used Notion for a while. Notion's in the news now. They have it. Well, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
And then Obsidian, which is what I currently use. I like Obsidian a lot. It's really everything Evernote kind of was, but a lot of community support and community plugins and stuff.
I have a random note here. Apparently, I'm so weird. Here's my note that says planes, A321, seat 11, window slightly back, seat 12, no window.
There you go.
Just
there you go. There you go. There's simple note.
Just simple little notes like that.
Bending spoons. Scooter X is telling me.
That's why it sounds familiar.
Filmic.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't even know Filmic was sold. Filmic is an amazing iOS app.
That was about 2 months ago. They went subscription.
And they made it subscription.
Yeah. That's why it sounded familiar. Yeah, September. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Scooter X.
So that's the one app they make that I've heard of. I'm a big fan. I do all the note-taking apps. I use Emacs org mode. I use Day One, which is a journaling program. I've yet to find the perfect one. Notion's pretty good. Paul Thurrott uses Notion, which is a kind of web-based block style note-taking app with some really good features. They've just added AI.
Today, we're introducing Notion AI.
So the idea is you start something. This is a Notion page, and you can press the button that says generate post. So they've written a prompt, write a blog post introducing Notion's new AI feature. And then it generates a post. I don't know if it's GPT-3. Then you can keep it, try again, or discard it. But look at this one. /brainstorm, brainstorm ideas. And then brainstorm 5 ways to promote Notion AI, generate. And then it's going to do that. Now, I have to say Copilot on GitHub does a very good job in a constrained, it's easier for artificial intelligence to work if you have a limited environment. So maybe, I don't know. You have to sign up. I signed up. I'm 32,000 on the list, so I won't get it right away. Look, there's a translate.
Question for you. You just named off about 4 different services. Here on This Week in Google, we haven't even mentioned Google Keep. Why not Google
Keep? Keep is a great one.
Keep is good. I like Keep.
I love Keep. In fact, on Tuesday, Alex Lindsay's pick of the week was Apple's Notes, also very good.
Apple Notes is great. I use Apple Notes. Leo, I hope you don't mind if I crap all over this feature where
no,
it
please.
writes stuff for you.
Oh boy.
I wrote a piece on this, and I'm curious what Jeff thinks about this idea. But I really think that AI that writes for us should be opposed with every fiber of our being, because writing is not writing. Writing is thinking. Reading, writing, and thinking are literacy. And those muscles have to be exercised in order not just for us to write, but to think clearly and to know what we think. It basically reflects our thoughts back to us so we can consider them remotely, so we can go in and change them and tweak them and get to the point where what is on the page is what we really think and what we really want to communicate. And it's one thing that nobody can do write cursive anymore. We've lost all kinds of skills, and I'm totally in favor of losing obsolete skills. But once the AI is writing for us, once the AI is thinking for us, and the ability to think and write and read and all that stuff gets atrophied, is
Wait
not.
a minute, Mr. Elgon, you think people are thinking now in 2022?
Well, some people are. I think. I think that just writing company emails and laboring over an email makes you think about what you're saying and what your position is. And
I agree.
Anyway,
so Mike, since you asked,
moral panic.
Yeah.
Since you asked, no, it's the other one here, Mike. You're going to start with Gutenberg,
okay,
and we're going to advance a century and a half. When
is there a book that I should read about all this?
When Montaigne invents the essay.
Tiptoe out.
Yeah.
And with the essay, he changed the nature of public conversation and made writing a prerequisite to be included in
Show
it.
me, Benito.
What? What are you doing? What are you doing? Leaving. I'm not Steve. I talk
Leo's
faster.
tiptoeing away stealthily and shushing the camera.
Oh gosh.
So when Montaigne invented the essay,
Yes.
writing became a prerequisite to be part of the public conversation, and it stayed that way through time.
Yes.
But now we have new definitions of literacy, right? We have the audiobook.
Yep.
And when audio came out, the belief was it was going to obsolete the printed book because suddenly, why would you bother reading? Because now you could read with your eyes closed, right?
Yeah.
But yet people mocked this. That's not really reading. You're not reading. That's not literacy.
I disagree with that.
Well, okay, but there's other definitions of literacy, and so I think that when you go to places, when you have a world of emoji and memes and video, these are also ways people express themselves. And video is harder to do than writing in a lot of ways,
right?
Except for what we do here, which is not. This is a lot easier. But making even a TikTok video has more effort into it and more thought into it, I could argue. So I think we have to value many forms of literacy. The other last thing I'll say, waiting for Leo to come back from the pissoir, is that languages were not the notion of literacy, the notion of a formal language, of language being a proper, did not come till print. Because before that, you had lots of. Okay, now he's back.
Is that a slice of pizza?
Gutenberg, you say?
Every time you say Gutenberg, you're supposed to drink, not bite.
You screwed that up. All right, we can move on now.
Oh gosh.
Sorry, that was mean, but I did get a nice slice of pizza.
Well, I'll say this. I'll just make one point about audiobooks. Audiobooks is storytelling, and that's far more ancient form of literacy than writing, and it goes back to before we were even human. I'm sure. As long as we've had languages, we've had storytelling, which has been an oral medium. But I'll bet you that nobody listening to this who took the time to listen to an audiobook that wasn't poured over by the author and every sentence considered.
Good point. Yes.
And consuming something that's
but podcasts are the other way.
Wait a minute.
That's a completely different story.
Can you explain that? I didn't quite get that, Mr. Elgin. Say that one more time.
Your term
what
for
I'm saying is that the audiobooks that we're listening to are the result of literate people who labored over every sentence and really thought and considered every point they made. Otherwise, it wouldn't be worth listening to. And I just think that of all the obsolete skills that we give up and let AI do it, I've been actually working on a piece for a long time. I haven't quite finished it yet, but all the things that we're doing because of AI. If AI was like a malicious actor and was plotting to overtake humanity, this would be. It's not. It's a ridiculous notion. But if it was, this would be a great part of the plot, right? What are you drinking scotch out of the bottle now?
Gutenberg.
Actually, you gave me the worst scotch in the whole cupboard.
That's all we have.
This is the synthetic. No wonder it's the only one we have. This is the synthetic scotch that.
That one was.
Amy Webb
See, that's like synthetic writing, Leo.
That's why I have
the AI one.
This is what
AI writing tastes like.
This scotch tastes like synthetic rice.
It was so bad. Oh gosh,
isn't it awful?
It was so bad.
Glyph.
Does it even smell bad?
It did.
It's so the idea was if you came up with all the right esters and overtones and components of an aged whiskey by analyzing it chemically, you could make a instant aged whiskey. So this is like vat made but never aged. And it's exactly like GPT-3
Was she endorsing
writing.
it, Amy?
No.
Was she thinking it was good?
No, I don't think so. Woo!
I don't know. I'm a big fan of reality.
Yeah. No, you make a really, really good point. You lose that capability if you don't exercise it. Yeah. And the most important part is not putting words on the page. The most important part is thinking.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
The point is not to put some words out there. The point is to express your real thoughts. And I think we shouldn't hand that over to AI.
I love you. I think that's exactly
What about Mike? What about illustration? I can't draw worth a damn.
Same thing.
But now there are AI
I'm a
tools.
writer, not an
Let me
artist, so I
express
don't care about
myself
visually. It's an interesting point, and I've lately been obsessing about synthetic media in all its forms, and it's a really, really interesting question. All this text-driven AI stuff. Google now has a video version of that. It's coming, and we're going to really have to grapple with it. And I'm not sure what I think about it yet, Jeff. I sure love playing with it. It's almost an addiction to play with some of the
it's so much fun.
Actually,
I put a story in the rundown.
We have so much.
That one there.
Look at this. This is Casey Newton's platformer now. That's all he does for his illustrations.
That's what I do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
hysterical.
Great.
Looks good.
It's like
a story in the rundown about
copyright
and this stuff and how it's just confusing the heck out of everybody.
Nobody knows exactly what to say because this stuff wouldn't look like it does if they hadn't scanned in
derivatives,
real art from real people who are now disenfranchised by the fact that this machine can make something like it. Not as
the way plagiarism works in language is not the content, of course. It's the expression. It's the way you craft a language that can be stolen illegally, and that's essentially what they're doing. They're basically applying an artist's style to whatever, and that's kind of the equivalent of the expression part, right, as opposed to the content part. It's not about a picture of Elon Musk. It's about in the style of so-and-so artist. Yeah. And so it's a really interesting question.
Hey, this this is a tweet from Matthew Garrett, who says you can now, if you can figure out what somebody's phone number is, turn off their two-factor authentication by sending a text message saying stop from that number, and it will turn off 2FA. So,
that's good or bad?
Bad.
That's bad.
Bad. Okay.
That's really bad.
It's really bad.
Especially with all of the SIM jacking stuff that used to happen. It's a little bit easy.
Now you don't even have to SIM jack. You can just spoof the phone number, send a stop command. And then if, because so many Twitter passwords are terrible and it's easy to brute force those. Yep. Now you really got a problem.
This stinks.
So, I got that, by the way, from a wonderful version of Molly White's Web3 is going just great. The timeline thing that she's created can be used by anybody. It's open source. So somebody's done Twitter is going great, which is now collecting all the Twitter stories.
Yeah.
So it's just, if you want to keep track, Web3 is going just great is going great is good, and then Twitter is going great.com.
I love it.
Awesome. And he even credits at the bottom. He credits Molly White's static timeline generator, this is a great example of open source. It's a open source project that anybody can clone and install for anything.
Very cool.
Even cats. Jeff, so you want to talk about this copyright story?
No. I think it's just interesting that it's both input and output, right? Who owns the output? Who has the rights to things? Does the AI? Do you give it away? But also the input side of sharing by looking at all those images. There's no way to track back as to what inspired the AI. You're not going to know. You're never going to know what it pulled out and what inspired it. So you're not going to share revenue or anything. Copyright is just outmoded for this age.
Yep. A couple of real quick stories. Birds are changing their song due to urbanization. This is research that comes...
Did you get that story from about 1843?
Cities are changing the way birds sing. No, this is research coming out of Costa Rica that they recorded a lot of songs from house wrens, and first it was blackbirds I'm sorry, blackbird's scientific name, unfortunately, is Turdus marula. So,
okay.
Which abuses little boys.
Yeah. Then, well, you like that, then you'll love the great tits, Parus major, and Rufous collared sparrows. I'm not going to bother. They all sing at higher pitches with higher minimum frequencies in urban environments.
And they have to go to the urban environments because their food supply tends to be close to
That's exactly right. Yep.
This is similar to Jeff's point about what year is this? But a famous case with Darwin in London when they had all the coal fires in the 20th century. The moths, which were normally white, to camouflage on white trees,
they turned black.
They turned black to camouflage on black trees that were blackened by the coal fires. And so this is
it's
nature
history week.
To us.
Well, here's the future. We're going to the moon, kids. Oh, wait a minute. That's history also. Artemis launched successfully last night, 2 a.m. Eastern time. It was Did you, John, you were up to watch the launch, I'm sure. Yeah.
I turned it on at about 9:45 Pacific. And right when I turned it on, they started talking about a delay. I turned it off. I was like, this thing was never going to happen again.
Yeah. In fact, they put a lot of cameras on this, and we're starting to get the first pictures back, including for the first time since 1972 or 6, I want to say, a picture of the big blue marble that we live on, Earthrise. Oh, right. We haven't seen a picture of Earthrise from a manned vehicle since the 70s. And if you
where is Artemis now?
On its way to the moon.
Oh, it's on the way.
With Dallas Crandon
to the moon.
That's awesome.
With amazing high-res cameras.
That's awesome.
And that's one of the things that's different. 16 cameras. It also has a satellite on it that has a camera.
To me, one of the
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. One of the cool things is it's the most powerful rocket in history, which is kind of a cool thing.
Elon.
Yeah, Elon.
Well, yeah, this one, it was not Elon. It was, I think, Boeing and Lockheed and NASA doing this one. And actually, there was some concern it would never get off the ground because it was one of those things where Congress mandated that every piece had to be from a different state. And it was kind of not. Yeah. It's kind of
that's how you make things move along.
Yeah,
send it to Congress.
But they got off the ground, and apparently a beautiful night launch. If you're lucky enough to see
three mannequins aboard.
Yeah, it's not manned, but it is a precursor to a manned mission.
Was Jammer B up to watch?
He's not in the room anymore.
No, he's not anymore. He stepped out.
He stepped out.
It's been a bit of a running joke on our podcast that airs every Friday, This Week in Space, hosted by Mr. Rod Powell.
They had bets over whether...
Right. You're like, well, is this thing going to launch at some point? So they've been betting over Mr. Tarek Mallet's chair. And I guess now we're going to go... Oh, there's James.
I stayed up through the translunar injection burn, which was
he stayed in
12:30 after midnight.
Wow. Yeah.
And once that ended, I knew it was on its way.
Just some beautiful pictures. Unfortunately, they're on Twitter. But really, I mean, this is not science fiction. This is actual video.
Is that really NASA? You never know.
You never know.
Verified.
If Mario flips us off in a minute, we'll know. This is the the Earthrise. Incredible.
That's cool.
That's incredible images. As it goes to the moon, we'll have beautiful images of the moon as well, right, John?
That's stable diffusion. Come on, that's not real. That's stable diffusion.
This really is what happens, isn't it? We no longer trust anything. Let's do a quick Google change log. We're running long, and I want to get everything in here.
We're running long.
What a shock! It's
Google change log.
It's a quick log.
There's nothing in it. So
Google Wallet is finally on your Fitbit smartwatch, which is a big deal. It hasn't been there yet. Fitbit Sense and Versa 4. It's also expanding to more countries. So that's good. Google bought Fitbit, you may remember, a few years ago, and now they're adding features that were only on the Android devices. They're adding those. I think this is worth, and I'd be very curious if anybody in our audience has signed up for this yet. Android Auto, now with a new beta program that looks fantastic. I've seen images from people. You've got split screen. You have a lot of new features. You do have to. It's a beta, so you have to sign up for it. But apparently Google has opened a few more slots for the beta program. So this might be one where you run over to the Android Auto beta testing page and push the box that says become a tester.
I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
Oh, it's not driving. It's not driving your car, sir. It's just the software.
It's the music and the maps and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I know. My car is really. I had to have it after I bought my Mazda. I had to have it put in after the fact.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was a thing you were like looking for.
That's what I was, and I finally gave up, and then I managed to get it in, so it's in the car. But boy, is it wonky.
Yeah. I just went to the App Store, and unfortunately it says, thanks for your interest, but we've reached the maximum number of testers. So it was open this morning, but...
Thanks for your interest, but we've Googled it.
We're not going to do Android Auto.
We've already killed it all.
No. Actually, I think that's a big part of Google's going forward. Google's strategy is to get in the car. They're already making Android for automakers. Many of them are using it.
I'm reading right now to my mind, absolutely dreadful. I'm screaming about it.
Oh, Shoshana Zuboff's The Age
everything
of Surveillance
is
Capitalism.
A conspiracy, and everything is all. So this is all part of Google's plan to know where you are every minute and extract the smoke of your exhaust.
Google Fi gives you a year of YouTube Premium.
That's cool.
Yeah, if you sign up for their Unlimited Plus plan.
What does that cost these days?
Wow. Let's see, $65 a month for one person, $40 a month for families per line.
Well, that's pretty expensive. That's good.
Yeah, it's like a real cell carrier.
Yeah, real phone. Yeah,
I still pay. I think the $20 for voice and text, plus 10. Was it $10 a gigabyte? I can't remember. And then it's capped after 6 gigabytes. It probably ends up being the same. And Google has rolled out a VPN for Mac and Windows. Google One, if you're a Google One subscriber. Although, as Paul Thurrott pointed out, the picture of Google One running on Windows is from 2015. So obviously they just superimposed this on a screenshot they had lying around.
Wow.
But if you're already paying for Google One, I think a lot of us are. I am.
I meant to shoot Mr. Gibson an email.
This is the bizarre thing about Google and VPNs. So Google does all this work to optimize the performance of its browser, of search itself, of all these things. It has devices that optimize performance, and then it pushes VPNs, sells VPNs, it builds VPNs into its phones. It's super pro VPN. But then if you actually use Google search with a VPN, it stops you in your tracks, makes you say, am I human? You have to identify all the traffic lights and then identify all the bicycles, and you have to go in. Sometimes 4 or 5 or 6 different things you have to identify. What's the point of optimizing the performance of all these things if they're going to stop you in their tracks and you have to donate a minute of your time in the middle of your day to Google's image recognition system through CAPTCHA? It makes no sense. It's like they punish you for using a VPN.
Using someone else's VPN.
What is it? You want us to use VPNs or not?
Someone else's VPN.
Make up your mind. Maybe if it's theirs, you won't have to do that. What do you think, huh?
I don't know, because I mean, I use ExpressVPN and 5 times a day they're like, "Oh, are you really human? There's unusual activity." Yeah, and it really bothers me.
I'd be very curious to see if I'll turn on Google One and see, because I bet it doesn't. And then you've got an anti-competitive argument. You know,
where's Europe when you need them?
Watch the EU jump.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see.
And that's the Google change log.
Oh, and that's it. That's it. You're right. Thank you, Ann.
Jeez. Gotta finish the old man's sentences for him.
Man, where am I?
He's in a pizza coma right now.
Facebook, is this a tempest in a teapot? Facebook apparently has a rule that they don't fact check politicians. Now that Trump is running for office in 2024, 2 years from now, they're no longer fact-checking. Now, Trump is not on Facebook, but anything that he says that is then I presume, I don't know. Does this, if he's not on Facebook, does it matter?
Well, Team Trump is there. Plus, if I quote him there, they won't fact check it.
Oh, interesting.
I'm getting a little fed up about the special treatment the politicians get on all things, especially criminal justice system. If an unnamed politician has broken a bunch of laws, the Department of Justice should not be sitting there going, well, we can't indict them now because they're running for office, or Facebook says we can't fact check them because they're running for office. Who cares if they're running for office? In a democracy, the people who are running for office are supposed to be everyday citizens, just like the rest of us. And I'm getting fed up with the special treatment. I don't understand why.
They should be the first fact check.
Two sets of rules. Exactly.
Good point. Meta also plans on considering allowing Trump back on the platform as soon as January, because that'll be 2 years from his initial ban, January 6th, of course. So he may be back anyway in more ways than one.
Did they specify like why they're considering it?
Yeah, because that was
because the oversight board.
The oversight board
said so.
Yeah, they said you can't do a permanent ban.
Indefinite.
Okay.
Although they said you couldn't do an indefinite ban.
Right. So you have to set
I'm sure he's learned his lesson.
Yeah, it's clear after watching him last night.
Said the senator from Maine.
I mean, actually, it was better than usual. He only told 20 lies, according to CNN.
I don't know. They cut away before he started to really get going. Even Fox cut away before he really started going.
Well, that's because it was boring, not because it was false.
Out of sync in the IRC says, isn't it journalists' jobs to fact check them? And I get where you're coming from, but also say a journalist does that on one of these platforms, and I've seen where the platform comes after the journalist is like, wait a minute, this is misinformation.
I mean, if most people get their news from social networks and the social networks refuse to do the job journalists do, you got a problem.
My only point is not, whether we decide to fact check or not fact check on social media and all that stuff. That's a separate conversation. But whatever the rules are should apply to everyone. Yeah. Politician, not a politician. Journalist, not a journalist.
I agree.
The rules should be the rules, and I don't think politicians of all people should get special treatment. That's all.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to do a final ad and get your picks of the week, and we'll get you out of here. It's so great to have you visiting us from Mexico City, Mr. Mike Elgin.
So
are you going to be there for a while? What's the current gastronomad?
I think
schedule?
We're here about a month or so, and then we're going to go to California for a few days, and then back to Mexico. So back to Oaxaca. We're going to do a December Oaxaca experience, and it's Oaxaca is sold out. Mexico City is sold out for April. The next thing we're doing in Mexico is in November of next year, actually. Wow. So you want to jump on that if you want to do a Mexico thing. But we're spending, it's great now that COVID is more or less over. It's great to be spending a lot of more time in Mexico.
One of the great things about these, and one of the reasons you sell out so fast, is it's a small group. Mm-hmm. It's a Mike and Amira, his wife, who knows everybody in these towns. She's like the local expert, knows every chef, knows every vintner, knows every mezcal maker in the area. And so they take you around. But it's a small group. Our group was, about 10 people, something like that?
Yeah.
Is that typically the size?
Well, that one went way out of proportion because people that we really love, like you and Lisa, said, "Hey, I'd like to do it." And we're like, "Okay. We're only going to do 6 or so," and we just kept adding. But yeah, they're typically small, intimate groups of very cool people, always. And Amira knows everybody, and so we're doing another Oaxaca experience in December. We're doing Mexico City in April, like I said, and these are going to be completely different from the ones that you did, because there's so much change. There's so many new things to explore. Yeah. So it's really a lot of fun. But we have, the next one that's available is in the Prosecco Hills, Veneto, Venice, and Prosecco Hills in Italy, and that's in May. And then of course Provence. But these are filling up pretty fast too nowadays. People are traveling with a vengeance.
Do you get a lot of return? I guess you do. return people like who come back again and again?
Not we were having return people, like there's several people who've done all of them, but now we're having people repeat the same place.
Oh, interesting.
So lots of people. So for example, in both Oaxaca and Mexico City, we're having people who've done Oaxaca and Mexico City before, and all the places now. So and so it's funny because Amira does, when there is a person who's repeating the place, she kind of shocks them with like the whole thing is
different,
totally different.
Yeah,
new wineries, new chefs to meet, like all these different things, so cool. It's really fun. But it's so cool. Really invite everybody to join us.
Aunt Pruitt, hands-on photography, and I see you planned a lot of good stuff for our club members.
Yeah, we got some good stuff coming up. Mr. Jonathan Bennett has an AMA. You may know him from our show Floss Weekly on Wednesdays. And he also hosts the Untitled Linux Show,
which has the best name of any show on our network.
I love that guy. He is so smart.
That's great.
So
he had his hair out of control on the last floss. That was pretty funny.
He fixed it this week.
Did he? All right.
I put in air quotes.
I hope he doesn't fix it for tomorrow. 9 a.m. tomorrow. Glenn Fleischman will be on Thursday, December 15th.
Yes. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we love
We'll
Glenn.
have a fireside.
He's been fantastic.
He's the greatest.
Yep. And Stacy's book club is next month, and no, it's January. That's to give you time to read. Although I've already read it. Project Hail Mary.
Will you join us for this one?
I will.
Because I
love Andy Weird's book.
Totally hated the last book. And refused to join.
Talk about the last one. It was terrible. You shouldn't not go if you don't like the book. But
that was all more the reason you should have.
I didn't even want to read it though. That's the problem. I didn't want to finish it. I did finish Project Hail Mary. We of course interviewed Andy Weir on Triangulation. I can't wait. That'll be fun.
Maybe he'll show up.
Maybe we get Andy to show up.
I'll put in a call.
He and his wife had a baby a couple of months ago. We were actually asking him to be on, and he couldn't. But I think by now,
I bet he's chomping at the bit now. It's like, please save me.
And of course, Jeff Jarvis, buzzmachine.com's the blog, mastodon.social/Jeff Jarvis. Are you feeling a little better on Mastodon now?
Feeling good.
You like the people, you like the conversation.
I am, and the conversations are substantive. They're still about Mastodon a lot. That'll fade away. But no, I'm really enjoying it, and I think it's reached a critical mass for me.
Especially now that Don Trump is on. Do you think that's a parody account? It's not verified.
Well, does he know rel.me?
Touche.
Oh, he's writing to his diary. That's what it is. Touché. Oh, Donnie's diary. Well, George Takei is also on.
I hope it's real.
I wish it were, but it's not. I don't think it is.
You don't think so?
No, sad to say. We love the Mastodon. Somebody's been asking me for a special icon for Club Twit members, and I'll do that tonight. Maybe I'll have a Discord-shaped icon with the twit in it or something like that. I'll figure out something. That'd be cool. So if you're a Club Twit member and you're in our Mastodon instance, you can say, you could show your colors, so to speak.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. We do have a couple of custom...
A little badge.
Custom icons, including a
street
twit
gang.
badge. Yeah. Yeah. Join the gang. Twit.social. It's free to join. I do approve everybody who joins just to make sure we keep it nice and family-friendly. I'm pretty aggressive about banning instances that have hate speech or racism.
Yep.
The usual bad stuff.
Fed block.
I do not block journalists, however, Jeff. You'll be glad to know. Those are
good.
Those are safe. Those are allowed, even if I disagree with their point of view.
Just the ones with the last name Jarvis and the first name starts with
block
a J.
that guy.
Yeah.
I wonder if hashtag Gutenberg is trending.
I'll be
any minute now.
Next June it will. Yeah.
Our show today is brought to you by those great folks at OnLogic. I got a couple of these really sweet OnLogic computers. And, I put my pizza slice on it. But, I don't think that's a problem. These things are made for difficult environments. And, a little grease, no big deal. OnLogic. This is what's interesting. This is the transformation that's really happened. When I first started talking about technology, it was really a big computer on your desk. We didn't even have phones. Now computing is moving to the edge. Computers are everywhere, and often in hostile environments that, your normal desktop PC doesn't belong in. There is an entire hidden world of computing all around us, bringing smart cities to life, driving sustainable agriculture, revolutionizing the way virtually everything is made in factories. And that's where you're going to find these OnLogic distinctive orange industrial and embedded computers. OnLogic is the first choice in industrial computing for innovators around the world who need computing power that can survive and thrive where traditional hardware might fail. They design OnLogic. These are solid, beautifully made computers. They're custom made to the environment they're going to be in. This one, for instance, has no fans, no ports because no dust. It's perfect for agriculture on an area where you've got lots of dust in the air. Maybe in an industrial factory, that kind of thing. But they have high-end processors. You really customize it out the way you want. OnLogic designs and creates computing solutions that fit in the palm of your hand while powering everything from advanced robotics and AI to manufacturing automation and digital media solutions, smart agriculture technologies. OnLogic computers are passively cooled and ventless, protecting internal components from dust and other airborne contaminants. And because they're completely solid state, no moving parts, they protect against shock and vibration. Other designs feature systems that are protected from extreme temperatures or radio interference. There's designs for every hostile environment, including Leo's desk and a little bit of coffee and pizza. The team at OnLogic truly cares about creating right-fit solutions tailored specifically to solve unique technology challenges. OnLogic partners with leading software companies. I'll give you an example. AWS has approved a line of AWS IoT Greengrass compatible computers. So they've been vetted by AWS, so you know now that it's going to work right out of the box. If you're doing Greengrass, this is a great solution for rapid evaluation and deployment of edge computing. If you need a computing solution that can easily be configured to your particular needs, supported by industry experts who really want you to succeed. They're just a phone call, website chat, or email away. And don't worry about supply chain. They can get these to you fast. The team at OnLogic is there to help. If you'd rather do it yourself, you could do it on the website. OnLogic's easy-to-use website gives you everything you need to configure and order your next industrial computing device quickly and easily right online. I know some people want to get on the phone and talk it out. Some people want to do it online. All in-stock online orders are custom-built, though. After you push the send button, they build it then, they test them thoroughly, and they still get them out to you in as little as 5 days. When you need a custom-configured industrial computer, edge server, panel PC, delivered quickly, the first place to go, onlogic.com/twit. To get started, to learn more about OnLogic's 30-day risk-free hardware trial, connect with their experts, or visit onlogic.com/twit, ONLOGIC, onlogic.com/twit. Industrial computers engineered to last. OnLogic. Thank you, OnLogic, for supporting Twig. Everybody use that address now, onlogic.com/twit, so they know you saw it here. I'm just going to put it right next to my pizza, put the slice of pizza right on top of there. Perfect. It's exactly how it's supposed to be.
The fanless one will keep that slice nice and warm.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Those fins really are great for keeping a pizza warm. Mike, did you have a pick?
It's the new pizza plate
warmer.
Replaces the pizza box computer.
There you go. That's right. That's right.
I do. I don't know if you've mentioned Debirdify on this show.
Not yet.
Debirdify, which has a fantastic name, is a tool for bringing people from Twitter over to Mastodon. Basically how it works, it has an interface from the 1990s, but basically you just log into Twitter and then you click the authorize with Twitter button. It goes and checks your Twitter and it finds anything that looks like a Fediverse address among the people that follow you or that you follow. And then you download a CVS file. And then those of you who are into Mastodon know that within your profile settings in Mastodon, there's an import feature.
All right.
You just import that CVS file, and you are now following CSV. Excuse me. You're now following.
Or you go to the drugstore where you can't figure it out and buy some.
That's right.
Buy some
exactly.
That works too.
This is actually one of the best features of Mastodon.
Yes.
Because unlike the Purge site where they're trying to keep you from moving in or out, It's completely open, so you can also export your list. You can import blocking, following, muting, domain blocking, and bookmarks too. So yeah, get a following list. This is what Birdify will do, is generate that. You import it in. You can either have it merge with your existing records, so you can refollow, it won't hurt anything, or you can overwrite it. And
cool.
I used this when Twitter first started to go down, but I think you want to keep using it, right, Mike? Because people are...
Yeah, because more people add their addresses to their Twitter handles, and so you'll pick up some more, and basically it doesn't merge. So
it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't merge. So if it's a redundant address, it just ignores it and moves on. Highly recommended. You can get that at provisto.org/debirdify. And it works. It works great. And I think I picked up something like 600 or 700 people that I now subscribe to on Mastodon that I got through there.
Boy, that's changed a lot, because I only got a handful when I did this 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to...
People have been adding their addresses. They're coming online every day. And I have one really quick one that everybody should try. It's called palette.fm, PALETTE.fm. And this is a simple free site where you upload black and white photos and it will colorize them instantly. And it does such a good job, Leo.
Look at AI at work.
Oh, it's fantastic. It picks the color of the thing. It knows my brother was a redhead somehow. I uploaded all these pictures from our youth.
Wow.
Black and white pictures. It's really fantastic. It takes literally about 5, maybe 10 seconds to process. Gives you a bunch of different options for different styles, essentially filters. But I've been having a blast with this, and there's no charge, and it's really fun.
Palette, PALETTE.fm. Let me go find I'm going to find a black and white photo and try it. While not Ant. Before I do Ant, I'll do Jeff with your pick or number of the week. Something.
All right, so I'll do this in honor of Mike being here. The portable off-grid hotels designed by former SpaceX and Tesla engineers who were smart enough to get out and go find a box somewhere they could live in to get their sanity back.
$30,000 tiny home hotels.
What I can see Mike living in one of these.
That clearly does look like some...
They could be flat packed, driven across the country.
Nomad adventure.
So you buy this and you put it somewhere.
Or somebody puts it somewhere and then rents it out.
Oh, and then you could glamp.
Yeah.
They got solar. They got a tent. Do they have a toilet?
The world is your toilet.
I didn't see
that part. That's the slogan of the company.
Okay. Laminated wood, aluminum superstructure, weather-resistant canvas. Okay. 10-year lifespan. Although you will have to replace the canvas more frequently, it says. They call these jupes. 111 square foot.
Wow.
Oh, because they have solar, they have plugs and lights. Nice.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah. Air conditioner heater can be controlled using an app. Company wants to integrate Starlink in so you could get internet. Huh. There it is on a
truck of them, a bunch of them.
Yeah.
A bunch of them.
Wow. Okay.
I'd take one.
Jupe.
Very cool.
Jupe. All right. Thank you, JJ. And now, Ant Pruitt.
My pick is a very, very inexpensive piece of kit for product photo or product video. And it is, dang, did my phone just go off? I am so sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. We know rehearsals are ongoing.
But it's a Lazy Susan. And this one, I've gotten it on Amazon. It's a whole $20 or so. And it's automated, so you can just literally hit the button on it to have it rotate whichever direction you want it to rotate, as well as change the speed on it. And a lot of those things, you get them and they're too small and the motors aren't very strong, so putting certain objects on them tends to break them. But in this case, this one has a very, very strong motor on it. I've put probably about 4 pounds worth of stuff on it, and it just rotates it without a problem.
And can you choose the speed?
Yeah, I think the button on the right.
It's like a throw the thing off.
It goes too fast in my opinion. I have to use the slowest setting.
Okay.
But it works really well, and it's so cheap. It's something like $23 on Amazon. So I had to recommend that.
This would be great for anybody who sells on eBay or something.
Right.
You can put your product on there and get a great shot. Get the black one if you're going to do that.
Yeah, get the black one. Makes it a lot easier for you.
Yeah.
A lot easier for you.
Cool. We'll put a link in the show notes. It's on Amazon, Jayegt, which is
I have no idea how to pronounce it.
A Chinese company attempting to do something in English.
But it works.
Yes.
It works. Next up, I'm going to give a shout out because I had a bit of an embarrassing moment where I thought my boy had 5 touchdowns last week in the game.
Oh, nice.
Come to find out he didn't. I was wrong. He had 7 touchdowns in the game last week.
That is 7 in one game?
Yes, sir. We started the first round of the playoffs last week, and I live tweet the games because I have people back east that follow along, want to know what's going on, and apparently Mr. Jammer B watches it too, and I really appreciate that. But yeah, we had a first round of the playoffs, and he tied the school record for playoff touchdowns, and he set the school record.
Micah Sargent interviewing?
It does look like Micah Sargent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought he had 5, and then the press Democrat was like, "Oh no, he had 7.
7 in one game?
7 touchdowns. He threw for.
They only won 49-14. That means he had all the touchdowns.
Yeah, he had all of them. He threw several touchdowns, and then he ran several touchdowns.
You saw the game, John?
He just saw my live tweets.
He had all the touchdowns.
Had all of them.
The points were scored by one person.
It's quite impressive. It's been fun watching, and we're hoping for
the colleges are going to be coming.
I hope so. Come on, colleges, because Aunt Pruitt can't afford college tuition.
So was he the quarterback?
He's the quarterback.
So he was 13 for 16 on passing.
Yes, sir.
204 yards, 4 TDs, wrong. 7 TDs. 8
No. Well, 4 TDs passing.
Oh, those are the passing TDs. Right. And he had 3 rushing TDs.
Right, for 115 yards rushing.
This guy is a one-man wrecking crew.
Colleges everywhere. Hello.
Killed it.
Holy camole. By the way, this is not your tweet. This is some other guy's.
That's from the newspaper.
That's from the Press Democrat.
Right.
Very nice.
Thank you, Press
It's got
Democrat.
the blue check.
Mazel. Mazel to the hard head.
He tied for the Rancho Cotati single-game school record.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my.
Yeah, we set him out in the fourth quarter.
What? That was in 3 quarters? What?
Yeah,
what?
He sat out in the fourth quarter.
He did that in 3 quarters?
Yeah, it was like 2.5. It was almost 3 quarters.
Okay.
What year is he?
He's a junior.
Oh, man.
Jeez.
He's a talented boy.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
We're quite proud of him. Proud.
I found a black and white picture, Mr. Elgin, that I took some time ago, and I submitted this to Palette.
Look at that.
And let me see if I can find the...
That looks good.
Look at this. That's a real color.
Amazing.
That's probably what the picture looked like.
It looks good.
I could do a lavender dusk version of that. I could do colorful memories. Now, how do I? Oh, is it not? Why is it not?
It's
it's a lot of images. It's a lot of pixels. So I get it's loading. Yeah. Holy cow! Man. A slide of branch, lane, and oak. Small contrasting details in natural colors. It actually provided a text description of it. Holy cow!
It's really amazing, and a lot of us have black and white photos of our families that we've seen forever. Once you apply color, it really brings them to life, and you can really imagine what it was actually like.
So this is the original. I didn't give it anything but a JPEG.
I'm gonna try it now with mine.
Wow!
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, because this is our road, and that's exactly what it looks like. I don't know how and you can make the trees green if you want, or you
You're
can
in California. It's not that green.
It's not that green. Yeah, maybe it's a little green. Well, yeah, maybe it's a little greener. Look at lavender, warm glow. This is really that's AI, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I want to see how it does with mine. I have a black and white picture that I used for hands-on photography a couple of weeks ago, as we talked about.
And you hand color,
and I had to hand color it because I knew what it looked like. I'm in the picture.
Oh, this is remarkable.
So I'm curious to see if it figures out.
Most of my
blues.
shots, I take color and then I reduce it to black and white, or I shoot. So this was originally a color photo, but I don't think there's any information in the JPEG about the color. That's incredible.
Yeah, this ain't bad. I'm trying this colorful memories one.
Wow.
But like I said, my brother's a redhead, and I uploaded these black and white photos from when we were kids, and it made him a redhead. I was shocked. My mother's blonde made her blonde. It was like shocking.
Wow.
Yeah, this is pretty good. That's my skin.
That's good.
I mean, the helmet is not right. The helmet's blue for whatever reason,
So
but
made it, yeah.
But the jersey is right. My skin is right. The white pants.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, I didn't know that. I saw the episode, but I missed that part. Oh, no wonder the picture's kind of old and torn up.
It's an old beat up black and white photo. This
doesn't look like you at all.
This is pretty good.
That's before you started doing a lot of lifting.
Yeah. I was skinny then.
What was it?
I was only 200 pounds then.
It did a decent job.
Yeah,
now,
this did work.
You know what it was supposed to look like.
Right. That's why I wanted to upload
it.
That's not bad at all.
Really good.
Palette.fm.
Palette.fm. Very fun to play with. Thank you, Mike Elgin. By the way, I also searched using Provistu's Debirdify and found 241 accounts.
Wow.
Fantastic.
With 248 Fediverse IDs spread over 77 instances. So it did a good job.
Wow.
Did a good job finding stuff that some of those I may have, but this is nice.
Now, don't forget to go and revoke that access.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Before Elon Musk does.
Really cool. What a fun show this has been. Thank you so much for being here. It is now pitch black in Mexico City. Is the band still playing?
They're on a break right now.
Oh, good. Gastronomad.net. We told you that. Subscribe to Mike's Substack, mikeelgin.substack.com. Follow him on Twitter at Mike Elgin. He's also on mastodon.social at Mike Elgin.
Yeah.
It's great to see you. I want to give Kevin's doing great, I'm sure, but let's give a little plug for his project.
Thank you. It's Chatterbox, hellochatterbox.com. And he makes a smart speaker out of cardboard that kids build themselves, and they teach it how to talk, and it teaches them how AI works, teaches them to get used to privacy instead of being listened to all the time from a smart speaker. And kids are going nuts with this. They're learning so much, and teachers love it too because they don't have to be a computer scientist to teach it. It's easy to teach because it comes with curriculum and all this kind of stuff. So there are educators out there that really want to teach kids and prepare them for the actual future that they're going to be encountering, which is going to be AI and voice interfaces. Chatterbox is amazing. So highly recommended. HelloChatterbox.com.
That's Mike's son, Kevin, who does that. And it's really cool. Hello, Chatterbox.
We're very proud of him. He's very successful, and he did it all without VC or anything on purpose. So it's
respect. Love it.
Yeah.
No pressure to reveal all that information or anything like that. Hands-on photography, twit.tv/hop. Tomorrow, watch. Jonathan Bennett's going to get the Aunt Pruitt AMA. Look, what is that T-shirt?
This is a shout out again to Queen Pruitt. This is opening week as previously mentioned. Oh, I could move the mic, but Sandy Cheeks in the house.
Does she look like that in the show?
She does not. She wears a astronaut suit or something, I believe.
Oh, cool.
Scientist or whatever.
Yeah.
I won't be attending opening night because she knows that I'm supposed to be at the playoff game.
Oh, okay. Plus, all the autograph seekers would be focused on you instead of her.
Yeah.
So I think it's appropriate to give her space.
Yeah, right. That's what it is.
That's it.
Good call, sir.
You got to go with your entourage. There's all the paparazzi show up. It can really take away from her.
Oh, you're Micah Sargent? Yeah, I get that a lot.
No, you do not. I know you don't get that. Mr. Jeff Jarvis, folks, he's the director, not just the actor, the director of the Town Heights Center for Entrepreneurial Journalism at the Craig Craig Newmark, Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York. He's on Mastodon. He's on Twitter. And he's at buzzmachine.com. By the way,
Can't
Craig,
get rid of me anywhere.
Craig is on Mastodon as well, Craig Newmark.
He is?
Yeah, he's pretty active, too. Yeah,
Outstanding.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We do This Week in Google. Usually, if we weren't taking the company photo, we would have started at 2, but we were a little late today. I apologize. 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2200 UTC. You can watch us do it live at live.twit.tv. Chat with us live at irc.twit.tv. Club members get to join us in the Club Twit Discord. That's always a lot of fun. Ant's in there and all of us, and it's so much
And it's less expensive than Twitter Blue.
It is. It is. And there's cats. That's how I feel right about now. That's me and Jeff having fun. All right. Photo number 3 in Slack. Is that okay? I have to go to Slack and do that.
I got to tell you, the company photo today, this had to be the most adventurous company photo I've ever been a part of.
Oh, dear.
What in the world?
Is it in general? Where is it? General? Okay.
We were watching the whole thing over the stream. It was there were the drones and chaos.
Chaos. That's the word.
Chaos.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Chaos. I think we could colorize this, and we might have us a Christmas picture. How do I get this?
Look at Lisa.
Okay, why am I having a double picture here? I don't understand how this works.
Linux?
How do computers work?
Linux?
Is it a Linux? Is it a Linux problem? I don't know what it is. There it is.
Are we off now?
No, we're not off.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Don't say anything yet. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on This Week in Google. Bye-bye.
I need a waffle.
Oh, shut up. Have some pizza.
Don't miss All About Android every week. We talk about the latest news, hardware, apps, and now all the developer-y goodness happening in the Android ecosystem. I'm Jason Howell, also joined by Ron Richards, Florence Ion, and our newest co-host on the panel, Wen Tu Dao, who brings her developer chops. Really great stuff. We also invite people from all over the Android ecosystem to talk about this mobile platform we love so much. Join us every Tuesday, All About Android on twit.tv.